getting a chair, Tom.
All right, thank you, Peter. All right, call the meeting to order, please. And this is the New Durham Board of Selectmen meeting. This is Monday, May 16th, 2016 at 7 p.m. And we're at the New Durham Town Hall. I would like to also point out that today is Marilla Marks Young Ricker's Day, and that was proclaimed today by Governor Hassan. And at the same time, her portrait was unveiled, and this is the portrait. Anybody wants to, I don't know if you can zero in on that. I'm taking a little liberty with appointment. And she was a suffragist, philanthropist, lawyer, and a free thinker. Marilla Marks Young Ricker, from 1840 to 1920, accomplished a remarkable number of firsts during her lifetime. She became the first woman to be accepted into the bar in New Hampshire, the first woman to run for governor in the state, and the first woman to apply for a federal foreign ambassadorship post. She made significant and lasting contributions to the issues of women's rights. Marilla Marks Young was born in 1840 in New Durham, New Hampshire. Her mother, Sarah Young, was a devoted Free Will Baptist, and her father, Jonathan Young, was a free thinker. Jonathan taught her to think independently and to be curious, taking through town meetings and courtrooms. She was educated in Colby Academy in New London, New Hampshire. When Ricker applied in 1910 to run for governor of New Hampshire, and when she applied in 1897 for the position of ambassador to Columbia, she had no realistic hopes of being granted these posts. Rather, she was attempting to bring public attention to the fact that women were systematically excluded from positions for which they were equally qualified as men. Whether I secure the appointment or not, she said of her ambassadorship application, I have established a precedent in asking for it. She justified her application in explicitly egalitarian terms. There is no gender in brain, and it is time to do away with the silly notion that there is. Anyway, there's a lot more about Marilla Ricker. I know the library has information over there about her, and this is the pamphlet. I probably should give it to the library. I have an extra one. But I donated to it, so I was invited to the unveiling of the portrait of Marilla Ricker. She's now hanging at the State House. If you walk in the front entrance and veer right, and just before you leave the back entrance, you'll see her portrait on the left there. So anyway, it was a good gathering, quite a large gathering actually. So I was there to represent New Durham anyway. So that's all I have for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
And does anybody else want to speak? Public input, anyway? Bill Myers, right?
Yes, Bill Meyer, 51 Main Street. Just very quickly, I am here because we were informed that there was going to be some discussion about the heating and cooling problems in the library. Noted that it is the middle of May already, and we're going to have trouble with the summer programs if we don't get cooling. We had two really unacceptable Radley units last year which didn't do the job, and I believe they are too ill to continue their job.
So is this going through the Board of Trustees? What you're speaking to, or are you bringing this up as individual?
Well, I am from the Board of Trustees. I am bringing it up because we were told that it was going to be on this agenda and that your new Public Works Director,
all right.
Hello,
First,
was expected to present the bid. He was in favor.
Well, who told you it was going to be on the agenda today?
Kathy.
Alan, right?
Yes, Kathy Allen, excuse me, the library director.
Okay.
I believe she got it from the town administrator, that information. But
All right.
Okay.
Let me turn it over
I
to
hate to use names.
him then. Well,
But no, we're not
accountability.
sure. But he admits.
Do you want to say
that
anything
we're
about
okay.
it? You want to add anything, Scott, on this?
Yeah, previously I had slated it to be looked at tonight. Both Mike and I, Public Works Director and I have been working on that. He's been doing most of the work. I handed things over to him, which are the quotes from the 3 vendors that had been solicited for quotations for both heating and air conditioning for the facility. He's done some preliminary examination work, and we still have some further work to do relative to the assessment of the current air conditioning units. We were made aware that apparently they had been recently purchased, more so than being older units. So we were going to look at the, what the efficiency of those current units are compared to what the newer units would be, just so that could be weighed out, so you folks would have all that information in order to make that determination. These are wall-through units, type of things. What are they actually called, Mike?
Mitsubishi ductless units.
Yeah, they're a ductless unit that goes through the back, proposed to go through the back wall. They do provide both air conditioning and heating, or supplemental heating that way. But we weren't fully prepared for everything tonight, because we thought there may be some questions after being made aware that the air conditioning units were newer units. So.
Just very quickly, I thought they were older, I could well be wrong, but I can guarantee you they don't do the job.
Okay.
One little window unit in that, either of those large rooms there, especially the children's room, you got 20, 30 kids in there. They're hot little mothers. Thank you.
All right, Terry Jarvis.
It's on the same top, Terry Jarvis, Main Street. At least one of the AC window units that is in the library was moved over to the library after several years of service in the police department. So it's not a young unit. And I don't believe it was an energy efficient one when it was acquired.
Well, this is good. Okay. Anything else? Public input? Dot Vizel.
I would say in addition to their inefficiency, they're very noisy. Having tried to run a program with younger children, they are very, very noisy. So not only do they do the job, they interfere actually with the business of the library.
Think of the times you've had to turn that thing off so you can hear yourself.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Please introduce yourself.
Okay, Bill Kendrick.
Yep.
Gertrude Lang. Michelle and I, we appreciate that the police department is being brought up to snuff. And it's nice to see on occasion that they do patrol our neighborhood. And that is appreciated as well. That's it.
Thank you.
Ellen Phillips.
Hi, I have a question, Ellen Phillips, Main Street. I have a question also, happens to be about the police department, because I'm on the budget committee, but I was not at the last budget meeting, so I watched the meeting last night and this morning. And I heard the discussion, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because I see you have interviews for police officers on here. Normally, I would have waited till it was over and then spoke at public input at the end, but you're not having public input at the end. So my concern is that they talked about the number of part-time officers we had, the idea that we could get perhaps one more officer and we'd be up to snuff. But I have spoken to some of the part-time officers just because they're around. I can't tell you who their names are because I didn't pay too much attention to who they are. But one of them told me that he's leaving and he's getting a full-time job in Epping. Another one said that he won't be here for the summer because he works in Alton in the summer on a motorcycle. I didn't hear this from the person. I heard it from another part-time officer that a different officer is going to be working more overtime at his job in Carroll County. So that's 3 part-time officers that are not going to be available to us with our chief, who is going out on patrol and is doing those kinds of things in addition to administration, and 2 officers. And summer is beginning. Memorial Day, people open up camps, school gets out on the 20th of June, and I'm concerned that a chief and 2 officers, and if, I don't know what we're down to with part-timers, is not going to be sufficient for our town this summer. And so I'm hoping to hear some of that during the meeting tonight.
All right, anybody else? Clayton Randall?
Clayton Randall. I just need to know, I see you got Meeting House on here. Do you want me to bring up my input right now, or do you want me to wait till you have, talk about the Meeting House? As long
I
as you
don't-
give me a chance to speak.
Yeah, go ahead.
You
Go ahead, bring it up right now. Yeah,
Do it now?
sure.
Okay. I'm here primarily for the Meeting House Committee in one respect. We received an email from the town administrator in reference to some emails that you received from Stephen Bernard back in April. April 18th was one of them. We did not get that email until the town administrator sent it to us. I believe it was May 7th. We're wondering why it was held up so long, and we're wondering, it looks to me anyway, and I'll speak just for myself, that some of the emails were just cut out, and maybe David's remarks in there in reference to it. We'd like to know if there's any more emails that was sent from Stephen Bernard, Bogard, or whatever his name is, prior. We did hold a meeting on the 5th. It was not brought up. In fact, Greg was there. He should have known. If he didn't know, I would say that Greg should be asking how come he didn't find out until May 7th. His wife was there. She didn't bring it up. She brought up stuff about the Meeting House, which was very good. Received some emails from her, and I agree with a lot of the stuff that she has said. It might be in another phase of this operation. But again, before we will agree on anything, we need to know a little bit more about what Stephen is supposedly going to provide. That's basically it. So you can address that whenever you want.
I can give you a little bit right now. I don't think there's anything more. I thought it had been distributed. If you look at the email that
He did ask me what date I was referring to, and I told him April 18th, so that tells me that there might have been some more.
I will tell you that I didn't see that until about May 4th or 5th either, and in fact, I emailed the TA at that time and asked them to make sure it was fully distributed, so.
I forwarded it to the town administrator, I think.
Quite a while ago.
Yeah, of course, some time ago. And I didn't hear anybody talking about it, so I thought it was interesting. I didn't know why anybody wasn't interested in it. So I went back and checked to see if the town administrator had distributed it or not. And I shouldn't say I don't know if I even asked you to distribute it, but I...
We should have been discussing that whole topic. We could have done it. It could have even been brought up at the Meeting House when we did the live visit, and it wasn't. I mean, because I think that was after April 18th.
I don't know about that. But hey, Scott, do you want anything to add to that?
All I can say is I know that we had it earlier. I thought I had sent it out, but I hadn't forwarded it out to the rest of the board to distribute it amongst the board anyways. And I think it was originally going to be brought up at one of the select board meetings, and I don't think it ever really was. So the chairman gave me another thing, hey, I think you need to get this out, and I sent it out. I think I actually sent it out after the first of the month here. I was just
after
going
the last Board of
to see if I had it in there.
I'll get the dates on the email.
Yeah, I think mine was, I forwarded it out, it looks like it was, the chairman asked me on Friday the 6th, I was out of town, and I think I forwarded it out over that weekend when I checked my email remotely, and went ahead and forwarded it out to the rest of the board, and also then off to the, I think it was on the 9th, I might have sent it out to Kathy to distribute to the committee.
Kathy got it, and she forwarded it. I just think that probably some of that update is going to be part of those emails, correct? The Meeting House update?
It's on the agenda.
It's on the agenda.
You got on the agenda,
Yeah,
Meeting House update.
Yeah,
Those emails are probably going to be part of Steve Bernard.
yeah, I made sure they were in the packet. It's in the packet.
But I'm saying we should have got that in time to review that stuff before the meeting.
I agree.
We had,
I agree.
Well, we have a Thursday meeting, correct?
yeah, but you're talking about it tonight? I don't know, what level?
It's time to be talking about it.
You're absolutely right.
It's been time for a while.
Right, and it's been cut down, it's been stalled a number of times. I also told Steve that maybe whoever does the job is gonna have to post a bond, because I mean, that was the big issue last time.
You told who? Steve, who?
Steve,
Steve
the
who?
one that I talked to him this weekend, Steve.
Oh, okay, Steve Bedard. Good.
So I hope, he says there's absolutely no need of a bond being posted for a job like that.
Oh, is that right?
Again, I'm just interested in finding out at what level he is willing to do his free gratis.
Okay. He didn't tell you?
I'm sorry?
You talked to him this weekend and he didn't say anything?
No, he didn't have time to talk.
Well, I would think that would be part of a normal meeting in which he would come before and describe, or vice versa, you would describe what your specs are, so you'd have that dialogue going on.
I'm willing to ask him to come to one of our meetings, but I mean,
Right.
we haven't had time and we don't have time to probably ask him before Thursday either.
When you have a meeting, make sure that your chairman posts the location and that your chairman also posts it. They did this time on the website and on the board out.
You tell her, don't tell me.
I thought maybe you'd convey it. All right.
Scott can take care of that.
I believe we took care of that today.
Anybody else? All right, then I will close public input then. Thank you. Agenda review. Anybody want to make any changes to the agenda?
The only thing, Mr. Chairman, I neglected, I had given Stephanie the appointment for Mark Sullivan for the Conservation Commission.
Oh.
So it doesn't appear on the agenda, but she rushed it into me here as we started the meeting. So if we can put that down at number G on new business.
H, actually.
To do that, or J.
H.
Yeah.
H, I'm sorry. yeah.
Actually, good time to do it would be right when we're doing the after F.
Yeah, but
How about FA? F1.
Well, and I have an appointment that I wanted to do for the capital improvement, so we'll discuss that also.
All right, we'll do all those.
Yeah, all together.
Sullivan. Okay. All right, anything else? All right then. Our first order of business is the solid waste facility compactor. And Joe is right here. Joe, look what we did. We got a little table and a chair for you. So you can spread your papers out and
And the microphone will pick you up right there.
tell us what you think.
Okay, Joe Belowski, solid waste foreman. I am here tonight for requesting, updating on the compactor, solid waste compactor, hopper number 1 for the solid waste facility for the MSW. As you know, we put it up for bids and we had 2 responses. And I don't know if you will.
Yeah, go ahead and tell us.
Okay, to review them, I reviewed both of them, and what we requested for companies to bid on, only one of them itemized and bid what we asked them to bid on. Okay, like one company, okay, they didn't itemize the prices, they didn't give me a trade-in, they didn't give me a price on delivering it to town, which it was.
Oh, they didn't itemize the price, they give you one
Correct, and a lot of it
total
was-
price,
Right, correct.
and you were looking for itemized.
Right, that's what we were asking for when we put it out to bid.
All right, that was McGuire. I see they itemized, but they didn't put a number after it.
Correct.
All right, but,
You know, like I said, they didn't do freight, they didn't give us a trade-in price.
Yeah.
I couldn't get a warranty, didn't get a warranty, I couldn't get any warranty information out of them.
oh,
So I felt like McGuire really didn't
Well,
do
They weren't responding fully to your RFP, is that what you're
Right.
saying?
correct.
but in the end, the lower bidder still ended up being
Right.
the other company, which was, that did itemize for you,
Correct,
and that is Atlantic Recycling Equipment.
yes.
Okay. And their total price is $31,755.
Yes, it is.
With a trade-in.
Right, okay,
That's
and
what would trade in.
and we, Scott, Mike and myself, we talked about, and one of the board members came down and we talked about, should we keep the old machine or should we, let it go for $1,000? I talked to Atlantic Leasing and they said, they didn't know it was on fire. They didn't know we had a problem a month ago with it. So they really don't know what happened to the hydraulics, if we messed anything up. See, I didn't get a chance to talk to Scott or Mike. I just found this information out later. And we were thinking about putting it all, setting it aside and maybe using it down the line somewhere else if we changed recycling situation or needed it, for another commodity. And Atlantic, they just said it wasn't a good idea just to let a piece of machinery sit around and, how would we move it, how long would it be idle? He didn't, think it was a very good idea.
That was
He think we should just let them take it away. Because if it's still gonna cost, I gave Scott some numbers, what it costs to rebuild it once. And we would still have to have it repaired once they did take it out.
How much was it to rebuild? 7,000. And then what came after that?
I'm just looking to see what these guys do.
No, yeah, probably another.
Yeah.
Okay. What year was that?
This actually, he put this one together as to what it was at today's rate.
So we all looked, Mike, myself,
Yeah, we looked for the records.
we all looked. And,
The unit's been in service.
This is in response to my question.
Yes, yes it was. Yeah, we looked all over and we couldn't find any information.
Any information on what?
On, over the years, how much did we put into this piece of equipment down here to have it rebuilt? How much money have we, put into the piece
Yeah.
of equipment?
Is it an 86? What year is that one? Or a
89,
89?
correct.
Okay.
And I don't want to be jumping the gun or anything, but we were leasing that machine for 10 years. I don't know if that makes any difference. The town was leasing that through Waste Management, and they were supposed to be doing maintenance on it. If they were, I really don't know because I wasn't in charge at the time. They were doing it on the days off.
Yes.
So we don't have any records on that. Then after 10 years, the town purchased it for $1.
Well, we know we got our money's worth out of it, that's not,
Yes,
no question about
pushed a
that.
lot, yep. Pushed
So
a
it's
lot of-
26 years old they're looking
We
at.
pushed a lot of trash with it.
Yeah.
The average turnaround on something that size and unit is usually 9 years, so we've got
Is that 9 years and we got 26 now?
9 to 11 years, so.
It's time to buy a new one.
Well, this is it.
Yeah.
But the question now is whether they want to keep it for any particular reason, or let it go for $1,000. So it sounds like your recommendation, Joe, is to let it go for $1,000.
Yes.
And your supervisor is saying what?
Well, see, I didn't get a chance to talk to Mike.
Our initial cost breakdown would be maybe to $1,000 to $2,000, but seeing this came in today, and that kind of changes our dynamics
Yeah.
on things for,
The repair cost would
right,
be,
Would exceed.
and
well, it would make one dimes,
what you're purchasing is a brand new unit.
right.
It's a purchase, not a lease, and you're purchasing a brand new unit, so it's not likely, even if the new parts transferable, but you really need that
As
for
you
quite
see,
some
my
time.
memo is, the cost per repair was going to be
Is the junk metal worth more than $1,000?
depending on the market that day.
Yeah, I know, that's why I asked.
Who's gonna take it to them?
It's a roller coaster, just hang on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think Mike and I would, go along with Joe's recommendation of go ahead and let the unit be traded for the $1,000, at this juncture, based upon that assessment that he received from Atlantic. I think initially we had thought that if in fact, the waste stream process was a little bit different, you could put it into a lower use, lower volume type application and maybe be able to get some use out of it. But hearing Joe's recent information, I would go ahead and trade it so you don't have something there that's gonna cost you some money.
Okay, well, thank you for all that information. Is
Thank
there anything
you.
further we should know about, Joe?
This is covered under a CRF, I'm assuming, right?
And it has a warranty, I'm assuming some sort of warranty on this?
Oh, yeah, yep, the warranty is it's a 3-year structural, 1-year parts, and 1-year labor.
Okay, is that pretty standard?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there,
And we,
And that'll
and
fit?
they are local. It's a local company. We do business with them all the time. A lot of times on weekends, if I have trouble, instead of having them come up, they'll talk you through it,
This is Atlantic you're speaking of?
Correct, but every time they drive up, they charge you $100.
But you have a relationship that you can just call them and...
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
That was for a long time, the town has it.
And this unit that we're gonna purchase will fit the space, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And it's all OSHA, the one we have now, of course, isn't OSHA approved, so everything's gonna be OSHA.
This one is then?
Yes.
Fine.
all right, I'll make a motion then, 'cause I don't think we have purchase order, right?
I have actually a contract
Okay.
here that'll have to be signed by the chairman.
And
It
then I'll-
has one spot on it, but all three of you could sign it.
oh, wait, you got something for all three of us, or one of us?
It just has one spot on it.
All right. Then I'll make a motion to award the bid for the purchase and installation of a solid waste 4-yard compactor with hopper and a 45-yard container to Atlantic Recycling Equipment of Rollinsford, New Hampshire, in the amount of $31,755, and authorize the chairman to sign any necessary bid contract documents.
I'll second that.
All right, Greg seconds that. Any further discussion?
The source should be a CRF. Do you have the CRF reference to that by any chance? Was that available?
No, I
You
don't
might
have it
wanna-
available, but we
I
can.
would make the amendment to the motion that funds to be sourced from the respective CRF for this equipment.
It sounds good to me. I'll second that. All right. All those in favor of the
amendment, yeah.
amendment? Aye.
Aye.
And all those in favor of the original motion?
Aye.
That's done, Joe.
All right, thank you
You
very
got
much.
yourself a new...
When are you gonna have that in?
That's all I have for now.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Yep, thanks.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Scott.
Oh, geez.
Be careful of that table, that's an antique.
So is Joe.
Yeah.
That's right.
So is that equipment.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Do you have anything else for us?
Yeah, you got it.
I had some, yes.
Mike? Mike?
Was not on the agenda, but we'll
Our new Department of Public
put
Works.
myself behind this thing here.
Okay,
All right, this is
welcome.
Have it, sir.
Mike Gingras, our new Department of Public Works Director, and he's here to tell us about crack seal.
Yes, sir. On April 17th through the 25th, we asked for proposals on a per pound basis for crack sealing for the town of New Durham. Upon that, I had observed some locations and I labeled them in the memo, consisting of Penny Lane, Miller Hill, Corbin Woods, Chamberlain Way, Hilltop Circle, Maggie Lane, and Brienne Road. The estimated distance would be roughly 4 miles. We would like to stick around 10,000 pounds of distribution and the leftover material going to Old Bay and ending at Davis Crossroad. We had 3 bidders that put in, Connecticut Seal Coating, who are currently doing work in the area with Alton for $1.49 a pound. There was JP Seal Coating, who was $2.25 per pound. And then we had Black Dog, which was 65 cents per linear foot. Our thinking was, or my thinking was, is that I would like to have it per pound. In my previous experience as a procurement manager, I've always had it per pound, so then I can actually gauge the material and distribution rate. When you go linear foot, you're not really able to gauge that, so then you know what you're having put out. I met with Paul Pronovost of Connecticut Seal Coating, and we did a ride around and looked at the locations. He once again came back with a price of $1.49 per pound. At 10,000 pounds, that would be $14,900. With meeting with Paul, I think he had the operational expertise. He was very professional. I actually went and drove up to Alton, where they're currently doing work now, and looked at some of the work. I thought it was good craftsmanship. I think he has the best interest in our town. I think he aligns with our visions and values and what our operational expectations would be to give to the taxpayers.
How about the quality of the material? Did you get a chance to look at that?
I did, and he has everything here, and I'd be more than glad.
No, that's all right. Just let us know what you thought.
Yep, I thought it was very nice material, and getting out and actually looking at it physically in Alton and seeing some of the material they put out, it was very nice.
And they'll use the same for us?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I've seen some half jobs before, and
Yeah.
that certainly wasn't one of them.
The Durhams used this company before, correct?
Yes, last year.
Right. And then of the 10,000 pounds, you expect a fair amount left over, so you would be able to do the Bay Road? And all that,
I would
or-
like to be able to get it onto Old Bay. I just left it with him that I would like the leftover there, Selectmen Swins.
Yeah, but just on a projection basis, you
he-
anticipate at least some, if not all of that, also to be done?
Old Bay Road?
Yeah, what you described Old Bay
I
Road.
would
and
think,
the
I wouldn't
crossing.
think all of that by any means, sir, to
But
be
at least
honest
some
with
of
you.
it.
That's my hopes.
Okay.
I am, from riding around, we estimated the 4 miles, some were not as bad as others, as you know, every road is different, so that was my plan, and I'd really like to start working on that road, because I drove it tonight before I came here again and observed it. So, seeing with the bid tabulation, I broke it down in length, and then they're per pound. And once again, I called Black Dog several occasions and spoke to them, and they were adamant about not giving me a per pound. And in my almost 17 years of public works, I've never heard of such a thing.
Right, that's all right.
What was their reason for not?
It's just the way they calculate is by linear, the linear foot or by a square foot. And if you take, I think, 10 cents per square foot, if you take 5,280 and you multiply that by itself, it's 27 million square feet. And then if you had to do that by 0.10, you're talking roughly $2.7 million. That just does not. Yeah, there was something wrong there, So I put down on the bid tab, as you'll see, their distance that they were charging per linear foot, and they were not willing to favor how we would like it priced. So my recommendation was to go with Connecticut Seal Coating. They were highly interested. He's been referring back to me frequently, asking if there's anything he can do to provide any more information. Like I said, I have a lot of the info here. If anyone would like to view it, I even have last year's bid tabulation.
Are there,
anything of that sorts.
are there not time frame requirements in the purchase? That is, they would have to have it done by such and such? Start by such
I
and
told
such
them
and
I would like it
done by
sooner
such
than
and
later
such.
because, as you know,
Yeah,
Memorial Day coming.
but I think historically, we may have indicated that, you need to have it done by, I
Yes.
think usually it's October 15th or 31st.
Yes,
in that area, but-
absolutely, yes,
But it
sir.
certainly should be part of the agreement or purchase for
Absolutely.
this one or any other bid.
Yes.
You should specify a date, not later than,
Well, as long as it's done before frost, right?
well, and that's why I want it contractually obligated.
Last year, they were here for 3 days. They were here from the 26th to the 29th. So, from last year's bid tabulation.
Yeah.
And that was the time frame for putting out 10,000 pounds.
Okay.
Mike, I talked to the folks at, the commissioners up at Copper Crown, and they'd like to know if they could piggyback. I think they have, don't quote me on this, I think I heard them say they have $4,400 to use for crack seal. And I'd like to know if they could possibly use the same firm and coordinate it with New Durham. And if we could work something out.
Yeah, if we could just get their information, and I could talk with Paul and tell him we also had some other,
Who?
Paul Provost from Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
I would certainly be in talks with him and would
Contact them.
Yeah, because we
collaborate.
that's probably as cheap as they can get it, you know, with it, instead of getting for a small job for them. Maybe have to pay a higher price.
Yep.
All right, good. Then make a motion to authorize the chairman to issue purchase order number 0128 in the amount of $14,900 to Connecticut Seal Coating Limited License Corporation for the 2016 annual crack sealing as established by the Director of Public Works.
I'll second that.
All right, Greg seconds it. Any
Just
further
quickly,
discussion?
this funding source comes from the RSMS or from where?
I believe it comes from account number 01-4312-10-679. Does that sound right?
Well, that's the account, yeah.
The top- what-
4312 is the highway
You
account,
remember 7 digits.
10 dash what?
679, which is known as the tire account?
Yeah. That's the question. I
It's
want to make sure that this is
$35,000
an
that
operational funding source as opposed to an RSMS or whatever.
Right. And I
Is
thought...
that correct?
Yep.
How much money is that budgeted?
It has,
35,000.
So, okay. So it is an operational.
Yeah,
4312 is the highway account, 10-679 would be the line item. Okay, so with that.
I don't know if we can take out of the CRF for this or not. I always thought we could also. But I suppose we could.
If it's
inquire.
budgeted here, that's probably where it should go anyway.
Yeah, I don't know where how high your needs are for the crack sealing.
I would recommend it, especially with the timing of these roads. I would hate to see them go worse, because as we all know, the dollar amount will not go down. It's always going to rise.
How,
Mike and I talked about that a little bit, relative to the current price and proposal that he's put forward to you now. And the idea was to get this initially underway, especially while these folks were in the area, to get the first hitch of it done. He has a meeting, I believe, either later this week or next week with the folks here to take a look at possibly doing some other treatments to the roads and getting some proposals relative to the chip seal and/or rubberized chip seal in that situation there, to see if there's any roads of any candidate level. Previously, they had been proposed in your road program to do some of that work that way. But the sales fellow's gonna come up and go with Mike and look at some of those roads and see what might be candidates relative to that type of application.
okay. Then I think we're in the middle of motion, aren't we?
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those signify by saying aye. Aye.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes, sir, you betcha. Hope you all have a great rest of your night.
How are things going?
Wonderful, wonderful, great group. Collaboration's there, there's great attributes there,
Good,
so I expect to do great things.
good.
You're a good man. Get along good.
Great.
All right, Joe, I'm gonna see if I can get out of here a little less graceful.
Better leave on that note, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd definitely take that thing out if I fell on it. so.
Leave on a high note. All right,
Thank you both.
Enjoy it. Thank you, good night.
Scott, you've got police officer interviews.
Yeah, and actually, I got a little bit of an update on that as well. I had talked with the chief last week relative to that. He had in the works, looked like 2. We found out tonight, possibly there's now 3 candidates of interest. Sergeant Meady, I talked with him this evening because he contacted me because the 18th date is not going to work. He was trying to coordinate to get all the candidates together so we could do one collective interview for those. And he has one candidate for a physical agility test tomorrow, I believe he said. So he's looking, like, right now, he's trying to coordinate for in and around May 27, to try to coordinate something for the May 27 day. That's a Friday. I told him I would check with the board to see if there is one person that would like to be of a representative from the board.
I think last time we had
We
all
all
three.
did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'd like to do that again. At least
Okay.
I'd like to be on it. And if it's the 27th, that Friday,
Yep.
that's fine.
All right, you got one here anyway.
That's
How about
Friday
this
before
one?
Memorial. I probably could make it. I prefer morning. but-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were looking at maybe, at least previously on the 18th, we were looking at like a 9:30 start and try to run them.
9 o'clock would be good.
All right, somebody will be there, or somebody's,
Okay.
Does that mean you're not able to, or?
I'm not sure yet.
What I'll
You'll-
do is I'll
Good
keep,
chance of
keep
not
up,
being
keep the board in the pipeline relative to the date and time to make sure. I told Sergeant Meady that if we could, I'd rather have it as one collective interview process for all three. That way, there's interest in both, I believe both in full-time and or part-time position. So we'll be taking a look at that. A couple of them, I believe, have some corrections experience, but these are non-certified folks.
So you'll,
Really, really difficult to get certified people right now.
Yeah.
Every police department, town of Wolfboro has had a vacancy, at least one, and they're one of the higher paying agencies in the area, and having extreme they want to hire a certified person because of their pay rate, and having difficulty in getting anybody, so.
So you'll confirm dates and
Yes.
times and all?
Yep.
Yeah, and
I'll,
if it changes, just let us know, we'll try to work it in.
Yep.
And I would say go forward.
Post it for-
Yeah.
Don't necessarily wait for all three, because by rights, we only need one. But if we can, that'd be all the better.
Okay.
All right, TDS, Union Telephone Company Cable Franchise Agreement. Where do we stand on that,
You
Scott?
bet. I believe in your packets, I gave you the revised or a markup after the public hearing. I know the board had a question relative to the language of the PEG channel availability and such. So I reached back out to TDS in regards to that. They have amended Article number 9 to mirror the language of the MetroCast agreement, which I believe you have in your markup.
I do have an additional stipulation in that section.
In that PEG
Yeah.
section 9.1?
Yeah, because it mentions that they're talking about.
what page are you on?
I'm on 21, 22. It probably should be G, but you can determine if you want G or fold it into another one of the prior number or lettered sub-segments. They talk about 2 PEG channels, which is fine, but I think we need to specify in the agreement that at least one PEG must be the PEG that carries town and Durham public meetings.
Okay.
Because I could just pick 2 pegs. Not really of use to our citizens. So I would suggest adding either as a G segment or folding into one that at least one PEG channel must be the PEG channel that carries the town and the Durham public meetings.
I'll just make that G then.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah.
Either G or fold it in.
Yeah.
But I don't think that should be a major issue, but I do want it stipulated contractually.
Okay, we'll have to do the same thing with MetroCast, because
That's fine.
they don't
Right.
do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
They usually
It
use
was
generic
not an issue
language.
because they had already carried that, TDS does not, so.
Right.
But I don't have a problem mirroring each other. And then there is one additional, and this is just fill in the blank type thing before anything's signed on page 3. I think there's you need to fill in the effective date.
Correct. Yeah, that's whenever you folks vote
Right.
to approve the actual date.
Yeah.
Yes,
You might mention that that needs to be on a lower tier.
the lower tier, is there a language that, help me out with that?
I think that's the language you need.
Is that what it says, a lower tier?
Yes.
Lower tier being non-HD or something, or what?
Basic package,
It's a basic.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
I got you.
About the level of service, okay.
Yeah.
Thought you were talking about
I did reach, I did talk with Ryan today. Ryan was here because he was doing a secondary test of the system. And we did talk today a little bit about how the process goes as far as the transfer of signals, because right now that, you know, MetroCast is already in Wolfboro, and, you know, they do quite a bit, you know, back and forth between Wolfboro and New Durham that they service. So, and over to, also over to the Tufton Borough as well. I believe MetroCast is there as well.
No,
No, different one over there?
that's a,
Time Warner?
that's a Time Warner, yes.
Okay. And they do they have a PEG channel as well, is that correct, Peter? And they do it through the, do the meetings the same way, correct? As far as dumping the meetings live on the PEG channel?
No, they do theirs, I think, via the internet.
Okay.
So the
No, I'm thinking that Comcast gives them like 1 day a week or something.
Okay.
So G then probably read something like that at least one PEG channel must be the PEG channel that carries Town of Durham public meetings, and this must be in the lower tier / basic package. Okay.
Now, I brought this up the other day, and that was that why we're not charging them, why they're not giving us a fee back.
Well, they do.
Yeah, they will.
They will.
They mirror the same thing as MetroCast. So right now, MetroCast gives you a 3% franchise fee.
Okay.
TDS is the same, 3%. So in your franchise fee, the way I understand it now, comes back to the town of New Durham and helps support your folks at Wolfboro as far as doing their video work and such.
Okay, but it comes back to our coffers.
Yes,
Okay.
yep,
And both will pay that.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, right now, MetroCast has about, I think, we just actually got another little grant thing, which is 75 cents per customer. Not sure exactly what that is, but that right there indicated there was about 554 folks that have MetroCast service right now in New Durham, so.
That's fine.
Keep in mind, you'll be probably getting 2 feeds, one from MetroCast and one from TDS,
Right,
because not everybody in New Durham is probably switching to TDS.
correct. Yeah, so you'll get fees from both,
Right,
depending on who's with who.
that's fine.
So are we all right with that definition?
With that amendment, if we specify that amendment, I'm probably okay with
I
it.
assume it we're good, but of course they define it on page 4, what a PEG is. So we're not going beyond, are we, or what we should, beyond that? Does it need to be defined? I'm not sure. See on P, on page 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the standard definition for MetroCast too, I believe.
What is the definition?
Yeah,
Take access.
actually, I think probably that definition actually takes care of your change. So I wouldn't,
It stands for public education and government.
Right,
correct.
right.
It's actually produced or programmed, produced.
We have
by
educational,
the town.
educational and government
Yeah.
covered in this. So.
The only thing we would want to make sure is that it is covered in the basic package. I don't see that kind of language, but I would think that they would cover it.
Well,
I mean, it is covered under the definition, I just want to make sure it's in that section also.
There's a problem with III, public non-commercial programming produced by residents of the town of New Durham. Much of what's produced in the public channel is not produced by residents of the town of New Durham.
right.
I would just strike the words programming produced by residents. I'll have to go through this. Let me go through this,
All right.
that part of it, and I can talk to you later.
Okay. Can we put this on hold?
Because some places do that, residents do their own.
Oh, yeah, right, exactly.
You
But
wanna
New
leave it
Durham
open?
does some, but not very much.
Right,
But
but
most of
New
the
Durham
pro-
might, if something happens to you, Peter, what are we gonna do?
But the point is, most of the programming on the public channel from for Wolfboro Community TV is not produced by New Durham Public.
Right,
Right.
right.
But that doesn't, one thing you have to consider, Peter, if in fact the town did not utilize the services of Wolfboro Community TV and chose to operate their own camera and live stream box from a facility, then technically, if the town was doing that, then they would be producing it. Or a resident may volunteer, Terry may volunteer to actually do that function for you. I don't, that's how I kind of interpret that type of language versus it being that the residents can just go ahead and produce their own show.
Yeah, it's my interpretation too.
I'll talk to you about this afterwards.
Yeah.
All right. And, all right, what else we got? Anything else?
Well,
That's the big one. There was one other.
I think they're looking at a June turn-on switch for their potential customers here. So they're probably on some sort of timeline. Did they specify?
They'd like to at least have an initial
Yeah,
So we need to vote on this tonight.
agreement to
that's what I'm driving at.
start the process forward so they could start their real sales.
In Alton, they're in process.
Oh, yeah, they're already
It's
running.
happening.
Yeah, they already have a signed agreement though, don't they?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, my understanding is that TDS wants to flip the switch to offer the services sometime in mid-June, early June, somewhere in there. So I would guess that they need this in order to meet that obligation to which they've kind of put out there that they would like this done today.
Then would it be just as, well, it's the amendment that might hold it up, the extra amendment. I wouldn't think so because it kind of mirrors what they,
It's
Say.
defined there, I knew that, but I did want to specify that,
given that, you still feel comfortable keeping it in?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
And we have a meeting, what, on the 6th of June? I think,
That's a public hearing, you mean?
Probably is little, no, the next Board of Selectmen.
Board of Selectmen meeting.
You're gonna meet next Monday at 1 o'clock for other purposes. You can schedule as a regular meeting.
What's Monday?
Monday will end up being, I sent out a thing there today about the Thornton.
Okay.
June 6th is the next regularly scheduled one.
What time is that on Monday?
1 o'clock.
Okay.
That's the 23rd?
Yeah.
Okay, that works for me. Then it won't be too late.
Yeah, that, just put
I don't
that on the
think we'll
agenda then.
Yeah.
Be a regular meeting.
Yeah, well,
That gives,
Peter, you want to keep that and then let us know well
Special
before
schedule.
this Monday date then? Sometime this week,
Special-
if you
special
see anything
schedule.
that's
There,
what...
aren't you tonight?
Oh, okay. Thank you. We'll hold it off till Monday then. Is that okay?
yeah, that's okay with me. Is that okay with you, Swens?
Yeah, put it as a specially scheduled meeting on those two things
Yeah.
on the agenda.
Right.
But I would suggest you may want to contact both MetroCast and TDS indicating that's our interest in adding that specification.
yeah, I'll send it to both of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good. Now, tax abatements? Is that what you
Well,
got
it
for us
says
next?
recommittal warranty property taxes.
I think that got, oh, did you pull that off or is that back on? Recommittal.
It's on the agenda.
Which one's that?
Recommittal.
This is
warranty-
B.
Recommittal has been pulled off. That has to be done by the auditors.
Okay, so,
And that's, I've been in contact, Jim's been in contact today with the auditors, and they will be working on that. I do have a document to have the chairman sign tonight, just basically indicating that that's in process. As far as the MS 61, it's a form here for the whole thing to do the next transfer, very similar. We signed one previously when the transfer went from Carol to Stephanie. This one actually talks about Carol and what her numbers were and such, so.
that does not need a full board action?
I don't believe so.
I would have thought so.
But certainly we can put that in this place. I certainly can read it there, but it's in connection with your engagement to apply, agree upon procedure to the reconciliation of the final form of the MS 61 tax collector report of Carol Ingham as of February 26 of 2016, we confirm that to the best of our knowledge, sit in belief that the following representations made to you during this engagement. And it lists out, basically it's the same boilerplated information that, you know, she's followed the RSA's according to the 41:36 and such. So if you want to look at it and see if it's
you
something
seen
that
that?
needs that. I just received it today,
I
so.
haven't seen that, no, but I know about it.
It says "we," so I'm assuming that
It says what?
it says "we." My guess is you will need all formal action.
But we need the oh, this came from the assessors.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they came from the assessors today.
Oh, so it's all done.
Actually, no, it didn't come from the assessors, it's to the assessors.
It's to the assessors, but if you look at the boilerplate behind it, it's
Yeah.
basically,
There's standard language that they would request, but it's from us to, not the assessors, but the auditors.
Management and tax collector of the town. Not intended to be and should
Not the
not be
assessors.
used by anyone other than those specified parties. So, I guess I missed the first part of what you talked about, Scott. What's this? This is the committal, right?
right, that's to have them go ahead and do they take the MS 61 and take a look at the books and make sure everything matches. Once again, just similar to what they just did,
Yeah.
but of course in a very short, we've only got a short window here.
So it won't cost much.
I believe
this
when
time?
they quoted me that, they said that, I told them what was happening, they said that it would be included in that fee that they gave us. At least that's what I'm holding their feet to.
All right, what would you like from us?
If you want to make a motion to have the board sign the letter to Plozak and Sanderson in regards to the recommittal audit for the tax collector.
All right, I'm gonna assume that that was heard by the tape recorder, and I'll say so moved. Anybody want to second that?
I'll second it, but let me look at it first,
That's all.
before we go, before we do a vote.
Yeah, it's required by statute under
Yeah, I see
41:36 that you
Yeah.
have to do it.
Yeah,
When I talked with Carol the other day when she was here, she thought that it was something that was allowable to be done, by our we could actually do that, but I think it can't be.
so this is,
What this does is it transfers
yeah,
the debt that we actually have for unpaid taxes from what was Carol, that then became Stephanie, that's now going to be our
Tax
tax collector, Donna Young.
done, yeah, okay.
So you'll actually get a letter next that'll come and say that Donna has this as the unpaid tax burden for the
Right.
town.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
that's unanimous. Oh, wait a minute, this is the one we want to sign, isn't it?
There's two places to sign. What I'm gonna do is put it across here,
Yeah.
let Scott sign that one. So here, I'll just put this.
Do we put a date on that?
It says Joe.
Yeah, it has today's date on
Okay.
the top.
we're good on that. All right, now the big one, tax abatements, denials. And I see you've got a list together for us, Scott. And,
Yeah.
don't think you have the Middleton one on there, do you?
Not on that list. I kept that out separate because that was a little bit unique, and it was already in the file. And I believe in your packet, I put language in, maybe I didn't call that one out. I did not put language in to call that one out specifically, actually. That's just apparently the abatement of the amount there for the town of Middleton, for the,
That'd be a separate
176?
Yeah. Lot 219-012, right?
That's
Yeah.
correct. That's a lot of gravel takeout, $176, 2 cents a yard.
Yeah.
That's not the, no, I wouldn't- okay. It's unique, but it's all set, right?
yes, yeah, Carol made this out, her and Donna did it together.
So the i's are dotted, the t's are crossed, so we can just do that one separate right now, right?
Yeah, I would,
Let's do that.
you can do that one separate. The other ones I lumped all somewhat together, the denials and the
You wanna make a
abatements.
motion then?
Whoever wants to.
You can.
It's good. All right. I'll make a motion to abate the gravel tax for the town of Middleton on map 219, lot 12, in the amount of $176. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Swen seconds that. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Which one do you want us to sign?
You
That original?
got the right.
That's the original.
Just the one page.
Yeah, there isn't anything else.
No, this one's different. Maybe it's because it's gravel tax.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, shall we?
Then you have a very long list, and I believe there is 2 denials, and the rest are abatements. There was 15 in that.
That's the,
Yeah, 15. That's in the big packet.
solar.
2, 1, 2.
Yeah, I know that's not.
All right, I'll try it this way. Motion to accept the recommendation of the contract assessor to deny the application for abatement to the following properties. Map 108, lots 48, 1 and 2, and map 108, lots 9 and 6.
Is that 9 through 6?
The only thing, Scott,
Yeah, this other one here says
yeah, it's different. on the-
9-69.
Is that 9 through then? What,
It's different than what's on the,
first one, yeah.
I get a feeling we need to trust the abatement recommendation.
Yeah.
So I withdraw that and start over.
I don't think there's a second anyway, so.
Yeah,
Good luck.
Yep. Motion to accept the recommendation of the contract assessor to deny the application for abatement to the following properties. Map 108, lot 48-1 and 2.
Should be
And map,
dash 9,
yeah, that's another one.
yeah.
Map, also map 108-9-69. Do I have a second?
Oh, wait. We've got 9. and then
I'll
we have-
second it.
Wait.
Yeah, but I'll second for
But
purposes of
just get a
discussion.
Oh, okay.
Now, further
Okay.
thought.
We have, on the paragraph, they have lot 9 and 6.
Yeah.
On this, they have lots.
That's a typo.
Typo on me, my
Look-
secretarial skills are getting,
Okay, so,
You need to look at the,
sorry,
the
so
actual.
it is 9-69?
that's correct.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
I'm sorry.
That's the way the motion was made.
That's fine. I just want to make sure they, okay.
One's at 96 North Shore,
Yeah.
and the other one is at
My hunting
2
pet
block
got me in trouble.
Owl's Head.
That's all my discussion. Anybody else have a discussion?
Swen's is reading, I can tell, so we'll wait.
No, I read it already.
Oh,
Should- yeah. Okay,
all right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 All right, that's unanimous.
I went ahead and put a date on that.
Yeah. Oh, you did.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, should I not trust your secretarial abilities
I was
further?
just going through and checking them, so
Oh, yeah?
so far, so good.
Okay, so far as how far?
Well, I'm down about midway here, just double checking
All right,
them.
well, take a minute and do that then.
Well, this starts to become serious money here. Is this because
Oh, look at that, I found one.
the assessment
Which one?
was too high and they reassessed it down and then we owe these people some money?
33.
Basically.
That's 33, that would make sense. And 14? 14, that's correct. Yep.
So we're losing 5, 3, 3,
I don't know how many times it's signed.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,
Putting
15,
the
16.
next one in, double
About a
on.
little under 20 grand.
Now what comes to? It's one here.
Huh?
It's interesting. one
Yeah, I
here.
saw that.
How are we doing, Scott?
We're good.
One
I got
correction.
I got actually 2 corrections.
Okay.
You know, I'll give you, on, I think Swans has got the one there.
Right.
And then the next one is just that you see, just down below that, Swens, map 102, lot 024.
Yeah.
I just repeated it, so just cross.
Cross
one
out the
of those
second one. Yeah, it's just one lot there.
Yeah, and you're missing a closed parentheses on the second to last money amount.
Yeah. 526.
We did 526 twice, you saying?
Just close the parentheses on that.
Okay, who wants to read this one?
All right, I'll read that,
All right,
since it's
since it's what?
interesting. All right, here we go. I'll make a motion to accept the recommendation of the contract assessor to issue abatements to the following properties. Map 101, Lot 031, the amount of $446.68. Map 209, Lot 029, in the amount of $523.78.
Wait a minute. I have 511 here. Did we change that?
No, I'm reading through the motion here.
You found a mistake?
You have to look at the bottom, Greg, right, this, because it's calculated with the abatement amount and then the interest. It's on the-
This is the total here in the motion.
At the bottom,
Continuing on.
52378?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Continuing on with the motion, map 101, lot 023, in the amount of $1,866.10. Map 249, lot 022, in the amount of $2,729.99. Map 103, lot 001, in the amount of $1,408.08. Map 104, lot 015, in the amount of $1,467.03. Map 104, lot 008, in the amount of $1,426.21. Map 103, lot 004, in the amount of $2,680.10. Map 264, lot 002.
It is a negative 525.
Negative $5.25.
They overpaid.
Map map 210, lot 090, $213.65. Map 101, lots 033 and 014, in the amount of $1,501.04. Map 102, lot 024, in the amount of $2,337.72. Map 101, lot 032, in the amount of $1,324.18. Map 120, lot 012, in the amount of $526.04. And map 209, lot 012, in the amount of $832.15.
All right, I will second that. That's good. Swen's made the motion. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. That's unanimous. Well, that was a good one.
Now we got a lot of signatures going on here. There's two in each.
Bunch of, collect them, yeah, we'll collect them over here, and send them down, when we get them all.
It's okay, you can set them there, Greg.
Pardon me?
You can set them there.
Wait a minute. Are we out of order here?
Doesn't really matter.
Well, I'm just checking them off on my list.
Yes, they're not in the order that they're listed because he's taking them as soon as, I'm writing faster than he is. It's the easiest way to say it.
1980. Which you found. This is the solar thing. Oh, cheapest. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, well, we're almost done here.
Interesting.
Pass that one right down there.
What's on that?
Paul.
Oh,
Geez, you guys are fast.
Well, yours is legible.
You know, sign my whole name. You guys just,
you can at least read my first letter.
this looks about like yours.
No, at least, no, as I said, you can at least read my first letter.
Oh, okay.
Well, you can see my first letter, G.
You still got more coming, Scott, on these?
No.
Just the end of it?
Well,
That's
there's
the end.
another issue.
So, yeah, there's some
Yeah.
other stuff.
No, I meant of the abatements.
You wanna hand me those quick?
Yeah.
Evening those up a little bit. Yep.
Pile that has to go to another location.
All right. All right, you caught up on that?
Yeah, the next, I got two items actually on the next ones.
Yeah.
Those are for the solar energy system exemptions, the tax credit. And
Okay.
this is, I had worked on one of these, and so we did check out at least some of the information, and I just verified through the DRA website that this actually was voted in 1979 for residents to be able to have an exemption for solar energy. And I was able to find that warrant article in the 1979 town book. And it says here on the DRA website that it took effect actually in 1980.
Yep.
And it says here the exemption equals 100% of the assessed value of the improvement and/or equipment. And so that's that value that you see on the back side
Which is what they invested in their solar.
in what they invested.
Yeah.
So, and from what I understand in talking with Laura, she indicated that then is deducted from the assessed value for the property.
Right.
So that is the tax break or exemption portion. And from what I understand, she didn't relate anything different, and I don't see anything else different here, but apparently that carries throughout. I do see with other communities that there are some other provisions with other communities have different setups, where after a certain time period, things change. relative if the assessed value changes and so on. Like they have some towns have an exemption, 100% of the value up to 50,000, and they also have other provisions. But it looks like yours is a straight.
Well, there are two key questions here. A part of one I think you've answered, but the other one is, does it have to be the primary residence?
Yeah, it doesn't say.
One of them, we have two such applications. One of them, it is the primary residence clearly. The other one, it appears that it's not the primary residence. Even though it is checked based on their mailing address and all of that, it appears that it would not be their primary residence.
Yeah, they did check both of them though, didn't they?
Well, yeah, and again, the application's a little bit interesting, but when you say, is this my primary residence, what are they referring to in step one? Are they referring to the address of the property or the property owner's address? Their form is a little bit... You know, from the step 5,
Residency.
4 lines,
Yeah.
it looks like all of them need to be New Hampshire residents. It's just a question of how long.
Well, does it matter how long? If they've checked this, did Jeff check that out to see if this information was
Yes.
correct?
Yep, Jeff has signed off on all of these.
And the second question I have is, that amount then comes off the valuation in perpetuity?
Yeah.
Doesn't-
Everything's, yeah.
Doesn't say anything different.
Well, if the
Not-
assessment would go up, you wouldn't take it a second time.
No, what I'm saying is that every year then they get that same amount off,
No, I
according to
think,
what this says.
you think that's what it says?
That's what I'm understanding him to say.
It's not a one-time,
No.
No.
No, because
As long as you've
off
got
of the
it.
taxes, if in fact you were gonna get that break, the 26,000, I mean, it's
what,
so
yeah,
many cents or whatever off.
right. But I guess what I'm saying, it lowers it by, if we're looking at this one, $26,700. It drops it down from the assessed value. That's, in a sense, a one-time.
Well,
You don't do it the next year and take another
That's
26,700.
what, that's what
Right,
he's
no.
saying it is.
Well, no,
think of the way he's saying it. He's saying it that it's,
Yeah,
you take the, what's this, $16,600 off the assessed value, because they put that much investment in it.
I understand that.
Now you take that, so basically they're not paying on that investment, but you said it right.
yeah.
So it's assessed at the house value plus 16,600. Now you go up to 16,600.
Right,
So now you're back to the basic
House
property.
value.
that's right.
Yeah.
And that's what it's assessed.
And it stays.
It stays.
Every year.
In perpetuity.
I think he's right.
But
Maybe something went
if
wrong
the
with
assessment then goes up, let's say the next year, that would not, let's say the property's worth $100,000. And you take the 16,000 off of it. So you're looking at $183,000, or $83,000. And then next year, if the assessment doesn't change, it's 83,000 is what taxable.
Yeah.
And it keeps going that way.
Yeah.
Now, if 5 years from now, the assessor comes out and says, this property's worth an additional 10,000 this year, it goes up 10,000.
To 93.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
as long as, but the assessor's not gonna assess the, well, by rights they do, so I don't know what changes there.
So it is a one-time shot.
Yeah, well, it's a
No,
one-time.
no.
But it carries throughout the life.
Right.
Right.
It is a decreased value throughout
Right.
its life.
Yeah, of 16, whatever.
Decreased assessed value. sorry,
Right.
Throughout its life.
But it, yeah, okay. Well, then,
Interesting.
okay.
And the other point is that in the one application, it's a 50% ownership, which is curious.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
So we only give 50% of it to them? Or?
Yeah,
I mean, to me, it's not, it's an odd situation on that one.
Well, and they have
I think it's
two
50%
people.
each is my guess, but don't know that.
Both of the individuals are applying for it, and the way the application I would read would be that combination is 50% of the ownership.
Of each one.
The two are 50% ownership of the whole,
If they fill this out right.
if
Yeah,
you read the form.
It sounds to me like that.
yeah, I'm almost wondering if they think that they own half. of it.
Well, that's what I say, it's
This
just
is the acreage.
unusual.
I'd like to think that I own half of my house by now, but I'm not sure.
Not going there.
Yeah,
I mean, I could understand why they put 50 if you had to have two different people here, both of them
Yeah,
own 50%
that's not what the
of it.
form says, yeah.
I know. This looks like that one we looked at with the acreage, 16 acres to 2 acres.
Well, I guess either, do we want to go back and look at the statute, or do we want to go ahead and approve? What's your pleasure, I guess?
Are we on a time constraint here for this, in terms of tax billing and all that?
well, yeah, I mean, they are gonna put tax, they wanna get tax bills out.
And this would affect the tax bill.
Oh, yeah, this would, they like to get everything keyed in
Yeah.
if they can, and that's, I think that's why we're getting a bunch of this stuff happening.
Yeah. I think that finishes off the abatements, though, right?
Yes, that's all the abatements.
Yeah.
We're all cleaned up now. It's about 34 and 37, somewhere around.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I'm
guessing.
just not clear enough on this. I mean, I would like to have had some information on this. I don't doubt that it's appropriate. I just don't have enough information to understand.
I think in the future, what I'll do is I'll just ask the contract assessor that he needs to do a
Give us an
cover,
explanation, yeah.
give us an explanation with it.
Abatements and stuff pretty straightforward. He's already got
Yeah,
that.
he
This one's
does a
little
nice, he
unusual.
does a pretty nice
Yeah.
job putting a little summary on the abatement
That's
forms.
right.
If he could, where he goes out and looks at these, if he could just put a little small
Yeah.
tag on them,
But I mean, basically,
It would help out, but-
he signed off on both of these at, one 16,006,
Right, he's
the other
familiar
one's
with- he's-
26,7, so.
Yeah. I have no reason to doubt that he has done the appropriate research here, but I'd like to understand it more.
I just assume go forward and not bog down the folks here, trying to tax bills out and whatnot. So, given that, I'll make a motion to approve permit application for property tax credits and exemptions to map 235, lot 27. And just the amount of...
It's not lot 27, it's lot 17.
Oh, look at the other
Oh,
one.
you're looking at the other one.
They're in the same neighborhood.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
27, in the amount of $26,700. And that would be permit application for property tax exemption. Come on, where is it? Oh, solar energy systems
Right.
exemption.
Right.
Okay?
You're gonna do them separately?
Yes.
All right, well, let's see, you mentioned the solar, the tax credit exemption, you mentioned the amount and the lot, right?
Yeah.
I'll second that.
All right, Greg seconds that. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Not opposed, I would abstain because as I said, I would like to understand the regs on this a little bit better.
Yeah, and we probably, there's a good reason to pull the information out, Scott,
Yep.
the statute and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I would like to go.
I think it's appropriate, I have no doubt that our assessor has done it correctly, I would just like to understand it more.
All right, then I will make a motion to approve.
But, I'm sorry, did you abstain then, or what did you do?
Yeah.
I'm going to approve map 235, lot 17, in the amount of $16,600 for solar energy systems exemption.
Tax.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Not opposed,
Abstain.
again, abstain for the same reason.
All right.
How come they're different?
It's just that the film to make print it out on.
Here we go.
Okay. Three, right? Yes.
Print your name on this one first, Greg.
What's that?
Print your name first on that one.
Okay.
Print, then sign.
Why is one orange, one's blue?
Happened to be
What paper was in the,
whatever paper was in the printer, I guess. I think they had some printed forms, maybe out in the lobby, and either have somebody print it out online. Well, these are all handwritten.
okay?
You bet.
All right, we've got 3 applications for current use to put land into current use. One is a repeat. And I'm going to spell that out. First name is Peter with a it's P-I-E-T-E-R, and the last name is Muhlenbroek. That's spelled M-E-U-L-E-N-B-R-O-E-K. That would be lot, or map map number 259, lot 20, and they are adding 2 acres to current use. Do I have a second on that?
You have a second on that.
That's Greg, seconded.
Do we
Any
need,
further
we
discussion?
don't need to, oh, sorry.
No, that's it. Go ahead.
Okay, we don't need to mention the acreage or anything like that, we just need to mention that they're increasing by 2 acres?
I believe so. We're just approving it, approving what they're doing here.
Okay, because now the entire 1852 is gonna be in current use, so we don't need to mention that then.
I don't think you need to, it's
I don't think-
already in there, so.
Yeah, not
Okay.
necessary for the,
All right,
The sample motion I put together just added it to it.
that's fine.
Where,
well, you have a sample motion? I lost that.
where is the verification based on our tax records that this complies? I don't see a sign off by either assessor or the assessing clerk.
Good point. I see his initials here.
Right here.
That's just to see if we're still awake, Bill?
Yeah, his initials there.
His
That's
initials
not-
here is dated.
Isn't that Jeff Earl?
Jeff Earls? I don't know. It's a JE, so
It's
one would
JE.
assume that.
4/27/16
Yeah,
approved,
one would assume that, and that may be it.
He
yeah.
actually signed this one down here.
Yeah,
On
that's
the
what-
assessor
right.
portion,
Oh, you got it? Okay.
on the other
Well,
one.
not on this one.
I'm assuming that it was given to me that it's
Yeah.
going through the assessor.
I think it's a fair assumption, but I'd like to have seen his actual name. written
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that.
I don't disagree with that.
I think that, well, he might have done the first one,
I should be doing anything that comes before it.
yeah, that's
I
right.
don't see it on the others.
Yeah, we only get a
You're
portion.
missing you're missing a page.
Right.
That's why.
Okay,
Yeah, once again, my photocopying skills are somewhat like my typing skills.
Okay. I mean, when I went through it, that's what it occurred to me, is that we should have some sort of.
Greg had the same question earlier, because he was asking, he called up and he said, something's not right here, what is it? And I said, oh, I see what the problem is, you're missing page 2 of 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Got sucked in the machine.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
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 All right,
Yeah,
unanimous.
clearly has his initials, so.
Print and sign.
Then we have Ripians, well, map 215, lot number 6. And they are putting
This one signed?
16 acres
Yeah, okay.
of a 21 acre lot into current use.
So you need to make that in the form of a motion if you wish.
Yep. I'll make a motion to approve map 215, lot 6 into current use. Of that will be 16 acres out of 21. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, Greg seconds that. Any further discussion? All those in favor, they can say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. All right, the next one is, I'll make a motion to approve 229, that's the map number, lot number 1, to place in current use 19.12 acres out of a 21 acre lot. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, Greg seconds that. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
These need to sign it.
Yeah.
Is there one already signed there somewhere? No, they're all right here. Okay. They're all right here.
What do you want? Peter's power pills here. Doc, yes, okay.
It's not in our packet.
Oh, no, I just got it tonight.
You signed this one? Yeah.
Okay.
You all set? All right, next thing on the agenda is the Capital Improvement Program Committee appointments. And we have 2 of those before us.
I will make a motion to appoint Terry Jarvis to the CIP committee, whose term will expire March 2017.
Well, I'd like to talk about this.
No? All right.
At our last meeting, and this is my fault, I apologize. I called Terry up, apologized to her. And this is why we're configured.
There is no second, so the motion's dying for lack of a second at that.
Yeah, but I want an explanation. I want to give an explanation. Because the way we were sitting at the last board meeting and previous board meetings, it's sometimes very hard to hear Swins, who sat at the very end, what he was saying and so forth. And I apologize, I didn't hear him. properly. When I thought we had just two people, I had nominated Dennis Martin, and then I wanted a new person on. I'd like to get new people on these committees, and I was going to do Elizabeth Contrail. But I misunderstood what Swin said, and I thought he said there were 3 openings. And so when he made the nomination for Terry, I second that, thinking that she would be the second, and then the third with Liz. So I want to apologize to Terry because I won't be able to second this, and I apologize to her. And this is one of the reasons we've changed the configuration. And it's sometimes hard. Sometimes people are talking out in the crowd. It drowns out us hearing one another. Sometimes with the distance, when we were straight aboard, shooting straight ahead, talking, it was very difficult to hear. So again, I apologize for that mistake. That's the reason why I'm not going to be seconding that.
All right, so you would like to have Elizabeth Cantrell then?
No, wait a minute.
Is that what you said? I heard you say?
No, wait a minute, hold on.
Nominating her, yes.
Let's have some time for some response here.
Okay.
Let's have some time for response, because we're not entertaining any new motions at this stage.
No, we're having
to my
discussion
knowledge.
amongst us.
Right, that's what I said, let's have some discussion on it. First of all, my understanding, and Scott, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not heard any negative inputs during the 2-week vetting period, is that correct?
No.
That's not correct, or that is correct?
Well, I mean, I haven't had any public input.
Right, so there's been no negative comments relative to that nomination that would cause us to reconsider the original nomination for appointment, correct?
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I had called Scott
Greg
on
called
this.
me and-
Okay, other than that one, which
Yeah.
he's just raised now.
Right, that's the only call that I had.
And when was that?
Greg called me on Friday.
Friday? Okay,
It was Friday.
Well, Thursday is when.
Thursday, and I reached out on
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah.
okay. So one of these selectmen is the only one that had,
Yes.
who was her opponent in the last, in his own election, is that correct?
Well, that-
I don't know, I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm
Not according to you.
I'm not in the
No,
politics
his
game.
last
but-
election.
Well, you said he was an appointment before because he was a write-in.
Yeah, I didn't say it was appointment. I said who was an opponent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody's an appointment, not a write-in.
opponent. So I find this highly unusual, actually, and quite disturbing.
Right. Well, it had nothing to do with Terry's ability. If there were 3 openings, I would continue this.
Well,
But there
it's
wasn't.
particularly interesting because Selectman Bickford actually commented on how good a job Terry did during the CIP in the prior year.
Well, we're talking about me now.
No, we're talking about the CIP appointment.
Okay.
It's not about you, it's about the CIP appointment.
Well, I told you why and what had happened. I've apologized. I've apologized to Terry for it. I don't know what else I can do.
Well, I think you should
All right.
stand by your original comments. That is, you felt that she was appropriate at that last meeting.
If there were 3 openings, well, do you want me to say it again?
I think I heard you.
No, I don't think
Okay,
so.
all right, all
I
right.
just find it quite disturbing.
Yeah,
I-
well,
I-
you know,
That's not arguing. That's,
yeah. I don't know what
Not
else I can
arguing,
do.
just making a
well,
comment.
it's bouncing back and forth here.
Yeah,
I'm
just
gonna make
making a comment.
I'm gonna make a motion to appoint Dennis Martin, a member at large of the Capital Improvement
You already have a motion.
Plan Committee.
No, it wasn't seconded. I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, that's unanimous.
I
Now,
will make a motion again to appoint Terry Jarvis to the CIP, given that the original nomination was 2 weeks ago, the vetting period is complete. Other than Selectman Anthony's comment, there have been no other negative comments, so I would make that motion.
all right, hearing no second, we will move on.
You're not gonna second it, even though you said that she did a great job the
She
prior
did a
year?
great job. She also said she wasn't gonna do it again.
I didn't hear her say that. Did you say that?
Yep,
What I said
at the Budget
was,
Committee.
I would not be chair, secretary, and author of the report
Right.
again, because being offer of the report took far more time than I had thought. I did not say I would not be on the committee.
All
And I
right,
explained that to Greg today when
That's what-
we talked.
all right, that's how I understood, so we're bouncing what people are saying here around, I just want to put
I
that
happen to
out.
be at that budget committee, and I
I
would
don't-
concur, that's what,
But I don't
that's what
have,
Jarvis
you
said.
know, I don't have a problem putting, or nominating Elizabeth Cantrell. She's new, she wants to do something in town, and I think we should accept her offer. So, and she did put in it, so I will make a nomination for Elizabeth Cantrell to be on the capital improvement plan. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
I think it is, as I said before, very disappointing. It has nothing to do with Elizabeth Cantrell, but obviously I cannot vote for this given the fact that we have a perfectly good candidate that has already gone through the vetting process, already passed on a nomination, and then you rescind it for no rational reason.
I thought my reason was very rational.
It is very not rational.
You don't need a reason. And we've talked about not doing reasons in the past in public.
You have.
Okay.
Can
And
I just
we
ask,
have talked,
does that have to go through a two-week vetting?
Yes. And that, it was a nomination, not a,
not an appointment.
that's Dennis's.
So, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed for the reasons given, that not, it has nothing to do with the candidate, it has to do with the process, which I think is
More of the same.
disappointing at the best.
More of the same.
Well, that's why we have 2 weeks to
To
think
put
it over.
personal agendas ahead of,
That's not
sound-
personal.
sound judgment, to me, is very,
It's wrong to
very
say,
poor.
call it personal. You know, you got somebody that's come along, he said he made a mistake, he means to do it. You got somebody that's come along, and now, again, now, this is your opponent, and you want to use her or not.
Excuse me.
Here you go.
If you thought there were three positions, why wasn't
You're out of
Elizabeth
order.
Cantrell nominated
You're out of order,
last
Ellen.
meeting?
This-
Can I have an answer?
No.
If he thought that there were three
Ellen, you're out of
positions-
order.
If he thought there were three
Ellen.
positions, why was Elizabeth Cantrell not nominated by him at that meeting? He did not nominate her.
Ellen, we've been through it, we've been through it already. You're out
He
of
thought there
order.
were three, then why didn't he nominate her?
All right, now who's the
Common
next one?
sense.
Appointment, Terry. All right.
More of the same.
It's enough, you're out of
very
order.
disappointing, I must admit. Having, I would suggest we also move ahead with the other nomination. I will nominate Mark Sullivan to the appointment of Conservation Committee. And you have that with the, whose term would expire in 2019.
I will second that. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Go ahead.
I assume no one wanted to
That's why.
speak to Mark, he's here. Just talk one, I guess.
And we did
That's
Dennis's,
all
right? Did we do Dennis's already?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that's just,
yeah,
you don't need that.
I just want to look at it.
Okay, any other, we get any other appointments? Is that all we have?
For the appointments, I think that's it. Yeah, the meeting house update on next on the agenda.
All right. We need to, I want to bring it up because it's timely. It's now May, to get a contractor in place to get this work done. We need to act, and does anybody have any ideas how they want to act? Otherwise, it'd be a shame to miss this year.
Yeah, I would like to suggest that, and I've kind of already done some of this in prior meetings, but, so there's nothing new here, but we certainly have an appropriate complement of meeting house committee members now appointed. And to me, it makes an awful lot of sense for the meeting house to meet with, in this case, one of the individuals that has offered to do some some estimations, which was Steve Bedard. So I would suggest that the meeting house committee, if hopefully, you say you're meeting this Thursday, Clayton?
It is, but I don't know if we can get him that quick enough.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could reach out to try to get him that quickly to start working that process, and then if need be, perhaps have a joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen and the Meeting House Committee, perhaps not later than the next Board of Selectmen regularly scheduled meeting, so that we can move this very quickly forward.
I agree with that. And I don't care if it's joint or not, just,
Yeah,
extend invitations.
but I would
I
not want to
don't,
do anything without having the Meeting House Committee have the opportunity to work through the process to a certain extent.
yeah, if it's not working out, then we need to do something.
Wow.
Or
There's
say
no
we're-
reason to
or say
believe
we're
that,
doing nothing,
there's no
one or the
believe
other.
that, there's no reason to believe that it wouldn't be working out at this stage.
You have any thoughts? You
No, I-
went to a meeting, I guess.
Yeah, I went to the meeting and I thought it was very productive. A lot was discussed, a new direction and so forth. They mentioned that one of the people in the past won't be available, Aaron Sturgis, for the next 3 years. I think, I'm not sure if Steve Bernard, well, he'll have to say it on his own if he's able to get involved with this, if he's booked.
He's not in a position to do that kind of work right now.
Okay.
He's tied up on Middleton right now doing their,
Okay, so, but anyway, but I thought the meeting was extremely positive. Everything was looking forward. They had, Clayton, I thought,
Did you know about the emails that he got on the 18th of April?
no, if I did, I had set it aside and didn't read them, so I
Now,
apologize.
I did not get it until like May.
Yeah,
I
so,
think in the future, all the emails should go to the town administrator and let him delegate them out to the committees and the selectmen.
that's what was done, but he missed
No,
it.
it wasn't.
I sent it to the administrator.
Yeah, you sent it to
Steve,
him.
Steve, yeah, but Steve Bernard may have misunderstood who his contact point was too, so I will give him that benefit of the doubt. But I think the point here is that we have the opportunity to capitalize on an offer for some assessment. Hopefully, it's what the Meeting House Committee believes is the appropriate approach. If not, they should let us know that as quickly as possible, but I would very strongly encourage that process begin, and we have a joint meeting, as I said, not later than perhaps the next regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Selectmen. And it doesn't have to be the whole meeting, just, a certain section on the agenda.
This was a second, just for clarification, this was the second time I've gotten this email from the chairman. The first time I got it, which was probably back at the end of April, I'm guessing somewhere in and
Probably, yeah.
around there, he didn't indicate that he wanted me to forward it out to anybody else, he just provided it to myself. And I thought we were gonna discuss it at one of the selectmen's meetings, I thought he was gonna bring it up, because it was right before a board meeting, if I remember
Yeah.
right. I wanna say it was in and around the 25th, I think was one of our board meetings, or it might have been the May 2nd, but I think it was the 25th of April's meeting. But it wasn't brought up, and if he asked me to forward it out to the board, I missed it. And then he asked me quite directly to make sure I forwarded it out to the board. So just so you know.
There's no sense in having committees if we don't communicate.
Oh, I agree 100%. In my recommendation to the board tonight, in my memo to them with my report, I recommended to them that this be sent to you folks to be vetted out. And I talked with George about that earlier this week when he came in to get his appointment done as well, so.
All right then,
What can I say
Thank
now? You guys have got the hammer.
thank you.
So I think, Scott, if you would communicate with the chair of the Meeting House Committee, ask her if, to do all that she can to try to meet with them at the next meeting Thursday. And then that we would like a...
I think Kathy comes back tomorrow, doesn't she?
She's coming back tomorrow, that's my impression.
She said she was out of town.
would it be best for you to call Steve and see if he can make that meeting?
I would just soon have Kathy
Yeah, you can't
take care
usurp
of
the
that.
chairs.
She's the chair, right?
Yeah, you usurp the
Make
chairs.
sure that all
Does she have the
the
phone
vice chair
number?
know that they're gonna have Steve here,
Yeah.
Does she have the phone number of Steve?
Oh, you betcha, we've been in contact with him a million times.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna contact
All the other
Kathy
times, like he wasn't
tomorrow?
available to do anything,
Okay.
all of a sudden he is. I mean, that really irks me. And all of a sudden, this project has gotta go forward today, and for the last 7 years, it's been able to go nowhere. Even if we had good quotes, good people doing the work, it's been stalled.
Well, it didn't get stalled here.
Baloney, it did.
All right,
Well,
that's enough.
Well, we're moving forward with it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. Let's work together on this if we can.
All right, our next piece of business is something you brought forward, Greg. You designed a
Yeah.
petition.
Yeah, I have public input policy. I took a little time and went to Wolfboro and got there and talked with the town manager about their meeting participation and how they conduct it and so forth. I went to Alton and talked with the town administrator there and got a copy of their public participation at board meetings policy. And that one had been vetted not only by their attorneys, but also by the New Hampshire Municipality Association.
Oh, which one are you looking at?
Well-
I'm sure I'm on the same page as you.
Well, no, I'm just talking.
Oh, all right.
And then Scott got Lee's public participation policy. And so we had talked about this once before at one of the board meetings. And then knowing that the Alton one, and this was after their lawsuit, where they were at fault. And I don't want to stymie any.
Well, when you say Alton, it wasn't the board that was at fault, was it?
Well,
It was the arrest that was made, which was not, the boards don't make arrests.
well, that's correct. That's correct. They had asked the person to remove that person, and the person then was arrested rather than removed. And so anyway, so they went back and looked at their policies and procedures and changed in number 6, one of the words in that. So then, after looking at theirs I thought had several repetitious, and also they had, it could have been condensed a little bit better. So then what I did is I sat down and took from our policy and procedure some of Wolfboro's, most of Alton's, a little bit of Lee's, and I came up with this that was sent out the board members last week to look at and see if you wanted to make any changes to it. And so this is the one that was sent out by Scott, which fits on one page. And did everybody get this?
I got 1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4.
Well, there's
pages.
Well, the new one. This is the new one.
Yep.
Okay. That's the last revise that I did. And so I just wanted to see if people read it, if they want to make minor changes, if they want to make additional changes, add anything, and then I think we need to move along on this and have a clear policy on our public participation at board meetings.
Well, at the risk of clarifying a little bit, I think we do have already a clear policy on public input for our meetings, which the Durham already has a policy for that. I don't see a need to change dramatically on that at this time.
Well, ours, no, I think we do. I think we need to add quite a bit. I think we need to have number 9 that we have on this new one, which we don't have in ours. And a lot of this in here, we don't have ours. Ours is not clear cut. This makes it very clear. And it really goes back to, and I've said it before, a lot of our past policies and procedures aren't very clear, or they're ambiguous, or they counter one another, or they're not in depth. And this new public participation at board meetings, the one that I've been working on with the other towns and so forth, this does go into great detail. And I think the biggest problem we have in some of our procedures, it's not clearly stated. It's not clear black and white. There's a lot of gray areas. It's unclear, and that's where we get in trouble. This policy that I spent some time on removes that. It goes into great detail. It's been vetted by attorneys, most of it, and it also has been approved by the New Hampshire Municipality Association. So, you know, it gives us some...
Oh, is that right? The whole thing is?
I don't think they've approved it.
No, I said most of what I have in this has been approved. They had some repetitious that went on for several pages, and I didn't think that was necessary. You know, they had several policies. They had two different locations of policies. Their procedures and rules, they had at two different locations on there. So what I did is condensed and put it in a clear form, clear statements.
Yeah, but I think it's mischaracterization to indicate that the New Hampshire Municipal Association approved this draft.
I said they approved. I apologize if I didn't correctly say it. They approved most of this. Most of this is the Alton's approved version.
There was one thing I thought might be awkward, is on number 2, next to the last two sentences, number 2, starting with the word scheduling an appointment.
Yeah, now that I lifted exactly from theirs, and I don't like that either.
Okay.
And the only reason I kept it in there is because it had been approved by the New Hampshire Municipality Association. This is why I sent it out to everybody. If you don't like certain phrasings, or you think we can clarify it even more, then we should do it.
Generally, it's done by the town administrator, because if you wait, make that appointment, then you gotta wait another 2 weeks for the next meeting.
That's right.
So you're scheduling before the board, and then you're
Right.
coming to the board, whereas the administrator can sometimes bring it in within that 2 weeks.
I was uncomfortable with that also.
Okay.
And like I said, the only reason I put that in there is because it was in the Altons and it had been approved.
Okay.
If we pull something out, it's not going to, or redo it.
Are there other things that you think that are?
No, everything else I'm very comfortable with. That I felt was, I was a little, not uncomfortable, but it's okay, but I think we can improve upon that. That's why I sent it out to the Board of Selectmen, so that they could look at it, make their changes and so forth.
Do you mind if once it's commented, but I'd like to hear from Scott. He wrote one. Scott has something here too on the
He did,
inside page.
Scott followed our last comments was to say, look at this, look at our current ones, and maybe merge where you thought might fit some merging. I think that's what that is that correct?
Yeah, the draft that I had done actually, under the direction was to take the Alton one primarily, and then finesse some of our stuff along with it, some of those languages and merging. I did see in here that one thing that I don't know that actually got put in here was, that I noticed that's in the current one, is that there actually is that noon time on Thursday for a cutoff for folks that wish to have an item on the agenda to notice the town administrator for putting that together.
Yeah.
And that is an important thing. I neglected to
That was
throw in
something
there, but
merged from another policy.
yeah. So, that's something that really should be added in as well, whether it be on the one that I worked on or the one that Greg has. There is to add in the Thursday at noon being the time frame as far as making a request to be on the agenda that way. But
Which would be number 2 on mine. We and Dave brought that up, we changed that scheduling appointment shall be within the sole discretion of the majority of the board. If an appointment is granted, the person will be placed on the next available agenda.
Yeah, I personally don't like to call things an appointment.
Right.
I know you have a spot on your agenda for
Yeah, that's-
appointments, and I assume that would probably be the spot for that.
Yeah.
Type of thing there, so we can certainly, I think it says appointments and department announcements, I guess, is in the same one there, so I could put that.
Where's that, Scott?
I currently, on the current policy that you actually have, you know, I mean, I don't think it's bad. I do think that it's nice. Some of the other language, it does specify a little bit more in detail relative to actions by individuals and what are those actions that are not appropriate for public input. Would be a good thing to have in there. And that has already been talked about in the Alton situation. I know that they, in some of that language there, as far as the, people conducting themselves in a civil manner and such, and not using obscenities or being repetitive in nature, or disruptive, or disorderly there, and that, I guess it also comes down to what you would like to see, whether or not you want to see public input more or less directed towards the business of the agenda versus just business in general, town business in general. And I think that was one of the items we just, how much you want to narrow that up on the business side of things as well.
Right. Like I said, I sent this out with the understanding that the selectmen would look at this, add or subtract what they wanted, and take this seriously.
I like everything you did put together here, Scott. Including D.
Including what did you say?
D. No discussion.
Which B?
D on Scott.
Oh, D. Yeah, there was, okay. Ground rules D.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is something I've talked about but haven't put in. So, the big question is the agenda. Should it be narrowed to just the agenda, or should the public input be global, or what's happening today in the atmosphere, or out in the...
Well, what I heard from the other towns is, and we've said it, and sometimes people in the audience, they still sometimes don't understand. These meetings are to be conducted by the selectmen for the business of the town. Now, I ask about public input, and all of them said it's a privilege. It's not something it's guaranteed and so forth. Now, I'd like to have public input. I'm not against that at all. But why I drafted mine the way I did was public input may or may not be scheduled on the agenda. The reason I put it that phrasing was when we go into workshops, we don't want public input, and so it's truly a workshop, and when I talked to the other towns, that's what they inferred. If not, then it's a Board of Selectmen meeting. with input and so forth. But even where we have a workshop, we could still, if we wanted to, have public input. But I'm not trying to reduce public input. What I'm trying to do is, this past year has been horrible with people just talking out loud. One person starts talking, another person starts talking, and the disrespect that we have for one another is abhorrent. And we need to stop it. And that was one of the reasons why public participation at board meetings, I think, is important to have. Make it very clear cut. We're not reducing anybody's right to talk at public input time, but it has to be in an orderly manner. And it can only be one person at a time. And then when we leave public input, people can't sit in the audience and talk. It's hard to hear. And I tried to apologize, early on, and I guess, people didn't understand that. I sometimes, and even Scott's told me when he's on the far side, we can't hear sometimes Swin's talking, or even sometimes I'm right next to you, but Scott sometimes can't hear. And it's also difficult when people in the audience are talking, because how we were set up before is we were facing the audience was facing us, so it's a direct back and forth. And, Selectmen, and I'm sorry, I'm an older person now, I can't hear as well as I used to. I can't hear sometimes. Now, this configuration we have now is much better tonight. And we had little or no talking during the meeting, and so we could hear one another. And this is why a lot of the other towns have semicircle tables, so the selectmen are talking to one another, conducting the business of the town. Then they have a chair there, so when somebody comes up and has something important to say during public input or any other time, they come up, they have a table, they have a microphone so people can hear them. A lot of times, people in the audience will say things and it's important, but we can't hear them, or the audience at home can't hear them. They don't have mics there. So, if somebody's willing to come to these board meetings and want to say something, then we should hear them. We should hear what they have to say. Whether we like it or not, whether it agrees with our policy or not, to me, that doesn't matter. We want to hear what they're saying, and the people that watch at home, they want to hear what the public has to say. And they also want us to be able to hear. And so we've got to correct this. This, like I said, this past year has not been a very good year, and we need to do something. And I think I spent probably 8 or 9 hours total on this. I'm taking this very serious. And every word in here means something. And every phrasing means something. And like I said, I took it from all these others, and I got the best of what everybody else had to offer and put it into ours. It doesn't harm anybody. It doesn't prevent anybody from doing what they used to do before by public input or talking and so forth. It just allows them to be heard, allows us to hear them, but most important, it allows we can hear one another, and we can conduct the business of the town of New Durham.
That goes beyond the policy. Conduct their business after the public input.
Right.
This is just,
but I addressed that.
See,
this is, if you carefully read this, I addressed that portion of it also.
Sure.
It doesn't mean,
where's that, Greg?
Well, when we get into, chair indicates how much time the chair will to be heard, one person may speak. Only one wishing to be heard, and only one that person may speak. Meaning, we can't have 2 or 3 people talking behind the person that's talking. And then it goes into, when we get into the business of the town, we're asking the people in the audience not to talk to one another.
Where's that?
Well, it's in here. I have a sentence just for that, and I'm not sure where it is now, but it's in here.
So, Well, we may want to add it. no, it is in here.
Oh,
I personally put it in here, so that, yeah. Okay, yep, it's it, number 8.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, once public input is finished, there will be no talking or disruptions by individuals in the audience. Now, that's just common sense, but unfortunately, there are a few that don't adhere to that.
Okay.
And
But my only thing is, my question is, agenda items, that it's directed towards agenda items. Do you want to keep that narrow, or do you want to make it broader?
that's the part that I wanted the board to discuss. I was uncomfortable with the Alton's phrasing of that. And that is, on theirs is, public input can only be, the only discussion of public input is the agenda that night. If you want to add something other than what's on the agenda, then you contact the town administrator, you say, I'd like to be put on the agenda. Here's the topic I want to talk about. Here's my statement. And that allows the selectmen to look at that and be prepared if they need to find information and so forth. A lot of times people bring things up in the audience and we don't know what they're going to bring up, but it doesn't give us time to research it. It doesn't give us time to do any of that due diligence that we need to do as Board of Selectmen. And then we have to table it, and it just goes on and on and on. And what I'm trying to do is shorten these meetings, make them more efficient, and it's not something that I've invented here. This has been something that the other towns have done. And they've done it because of some of their meetings have gotten out of hand, and so they've had to tighten up their meetings. And both Wolfboro and Alton both said that. At one time, their meetings started getting out of hand. And so they had to do something, and this is what they did. And I just think, I don't want to repeat of last year. I don't want to restrict anybody, but I do not want people to just yell out and say horrible things about employees, or horrible things about selectmen, or horrible things about other people. We've got to stop that. And this is why I was hoping that this would help partially solve that problem. But it goes back to, of course, respect.
Well, anyway, agenda is common for organizations to do. I almost think the school board's that way, but I can't remember. But we still need to meld in the things that Scott brought up, if we're going to use this.
Well, I'm asking that you use mine.
Yeah.
And add or subtract to mine. Because, like I said, I spent a lot of time on mine by putting items that were important to other towns, items that I felt.
Well, that's where I'm at.
Okay, all right.
That's what I'm talking about. We can.
And we just have it on this one page. And I agree with you. The scheduling appointment, I want to make it easy for people to talk at the Board of Selectmen meeting, but in an orderly manner. But also let us know what they're going to say, so if we need to get prepared or have some information. A lot of times, people bring up things that could have been done and been called in to the town administrator. And it would solve the problem. And maybe that's the point that they told me, when for scheduling appointments and so forth. Somebody calls up with a problem. They don't always have to bring it up the Board of Selectmen meeting. They can ask the town administrator, what needs to be, how can you correct this for me? The Board of Selectmen should be the last venue.
I think the planning board may ask people to speak on anything about what is not on the agenda. I think they go totally the opposite direction.
Well, like I said, I'm not married to how these other towns did the scheduling. I personally didn't like that, quite frankly. I just put it in there because that's how the others had it.
Well, what do you like?
Well, I like the idea that if we want to, if we have the public input, and if somebody wants to talk about something other than the agenda.
Wait a minute.
I think that's you,
I think Peter's watching cartoons over there.
Yeah. See, he'd be thrown out for that. But But if you don't want to just do the agenda part,
How true that is.
you know, for public input, then that should be taken out. If we want people to come and talk about, you know, what's on their mind or what's important on their mind, you know, if it could have first been done by the town administrator or whatever, that'd been better. It's a better timing thing. I don't mind that. But if they want us to act on something, let us know in advance so we can do some work on it. Just don't spring it on us.
Yeah, I think you can use some verbiage that just talks about, I mean, if town affairs or town business, town affairs, however you want to say it, or community affairs or community business, or the only reason why I think some of these communities have tried to narrow the scope slightly is because there have been some folks in public input which have gone on about national type items.
Right. Acid rain.
Talked about, you know, Mars and
Right.
outer space and, you know, and expenditures maybe that are happening or political stuff that's happening in the national side of things. So they've tried to tighten it up just a little bit so that they can stay on track and keep it pertinent to town business.
That's right. And that phrasing could be put in here rather than just the agenda for the night. Yeah, this is a working document.
Well,
And I want to form it for New Durham and not for another town.
can you and Scott sit down and maybe hammer something
Maybe
out?
we can all throw some track changes on it or something and
Yeah.
send it to Greg.
Okay, that's fine. And if
I
anybody
can
else
throw in
has,
about the, you know, the appointments, the meeting, you know, getting that in by noon time on Thursdays. and-
right, and that's
Yeah.
your schedule. That's important. I mean, we don't know your schedule. You might want that in there, and that would help you.
Well, we do too, but we can't read it.
Well, that's right. I mean, we get our packets
I have to
Thursday,
pack-
Friday, and we have the weekend and then Monday to look at the packets. And quite frankly, I'm gonna tell you, when I get my packet, you give us ample information. There's times though, I want more, so I get on the computer or I call another town or I call someone up and ask them for additional information. So I want more than just what's in our packets sometimes. And if somebody has this, listen, we have bright people out there, and they can bring, I think, a lot to the table.
You know, in Marlboro, we met weekly during the time period when I was helping them out. We actually went from twice a month to once a week. In that situation there, folks had to have their stuff in by noontime on Friday for a Thursday night meeting. So preparatory wise, it allowed me a greater time period, along with other interruptions and other things that go on, to build some of that information or to actually even get out a draft ahead of time so that questions could be posed even from the board to say, geez, you know, we could use a little bit more information on that solar
Right.
Exemption situation.
That's right.
Can you do a little bit of research and throw that in the packet as well that way? So especially now with, you know, the electronic age, when you can pop out a draft to the board for comment, you know, or things that they might see. I know when you guys get your packets, I do get inquiries. Usually it's on Monday morning and we're looking at, you know, having a Monday night meeting, and this can be a little bit tough.
Yeah.
Mostly because packets aren't ready until late Friday.
Yeah, I mean, I spend the entire day on Friday
Putting it
generally.
together, I know.
It's you know, putting everything together,
Spend much of Sunday morning working through it.
working through it,
Which is
yeah.
why you get my emails Sunday morning.
That's right, you know, type of thing, yeah, I mean,
At some point, we'll probably want to move electronic. We decided not to at this time, but Allenstown, I was talking to the town administrator over there, you may know him,
yeah,
Mahone.
yeah.
And,
Yeah, Sean and I work pretty close together.
is that right?
We were police chiefs, we were both
Yeah.
in charge of the tactical squad there, so.
Yeah, he seems like a pretty sharp fella.
He's very, very, very sharp.
And anyway, he was telling me that they use tablets, all of a sudden have tablets, and he puts everything on electronically, and
Yeah.
that's the packet.
Right.
And that's totally available to everyone, I think, once it's loaded.
Yeah.
What the something they're gonna work on, so everybody gets to look at it. So hopefully someday we'll move in that direction.
Okay,
Minutes.
Well, is that all right if Scott and I work on this a little bit
Sure.
more?
Sure.
And if you have
I
any
think you get pretty close
suggestions, Send them to
comments?
Scott? Okay, thank you.
I'll
You're
put
okay,
that
right?
mask on.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, I appreciate your input,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, pop in and see Stephanie.
Miss anything?
I'll leave it for you.
No, I don't think so.
Thank you, Mark.
Now, I'm going to ask, I could hear all of you speak it was very clear to me. Is everybody in agreement with that? That we could hear one another better?
Yeah, it's better.
I mean, I can hear everybody.
I think this, I do like, I mean, I think it might need to be
Yeah.
rotated slightly.
This is how we
And I
used to
think
do
we
it.
might need to do a little bit of dressing up in the corner.
Yeah,
You know,
well, there's no door there.
Yeah, I
I
thought
was
there
going to
was a
shut the door, but there isn't.
Well, I thought you meant me.
Huh?
thought you meant
No,
me.
no, but
Well, we could also see if we could find a half a circle table.
acoustically, I thought it was a little bit better, even, you know.
Well, and we'll see
I
when
just
we
don't
get
know.
home how the sound is with the people.
But the,
Peter says it's great.
Pardon me?
Peter says the audio is great, he's getting great audio.
It's better?
Matter of fact, I was clicking my pen and
Is
it was,
that because you got the new,
that's, we're
Live
on
stream?
live stream now. So this will
that's the red
actually
box there.
be, this will actually be the first
Live stream?
live stream meeting.
Okay.
Right? There, we have some already on the archive site
Okay.
from the couple previous meetings. They went ahead and put those on.
Okay.
Yep.
Got some updates,
Do
right?
some minutes?
Yeah. Did you have updates?
Oh, yes, I
printed
do.
out?
Yep, I've got, you want to, let's see, the first one is May 2nd.
Yep.
Is, I'll pass these down.
Is,
These should have all been merged, okay, with everybody's. Yeah. I hope I did,
This is the May 2nd public, right?
yeah, May 2nd, public.
oh, so we're taking out, it was noted it was a 10-year agreement?
it's still in there.
No, it's still
It just
in
got
there,
pushed
it's
down a
just
little
rephrased. Looks like down below, Greg.
I'm sorry, where is it now?
If you
On
get-
this one,
If
you
you get the
think-
new one,
Oh, I see it now. It's a 10-year agreement. Okay, I
Yeah.
see it now. It's in purple?
yeah, it
Or-
goes purple then to red.
Okay.
Not sure why my colors do what they do.
No, that's fine.
I'd like to explain it.
As long as it's
I
there.
just know it helps call it out for us.
So page one, we're all set?
Yep. Well, I am, I don't know. Yeah, great, yes.
Yeah, I'm on the second page. So, I'm assuming the red is Swen's in new statements?
I don't know that that follows all the way, but
Yeah, some of them may be, some of them could be, I think probably, boy, I'd like to tell you, when they get combined, it kind of fools things
Yeah.
with the colors.
yeah.
'Cause I wanted to say the purples were all Dave Victor's, but
I'm not
I
sure,
can't
yeah.
tell you that,
But,
because sometimes
yeah.
they're blue and sometimes
On
they're...
page two, the second paragraph, 4 is crossed out, it should not be, but be no additional charges for the first box.
I'm sorry, the first paragraph,
Second paragraph, second line,
second line?
yeah.
For
4 should
existing
not be-
boxes?
4 should not be crossed out, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Should be no additional charges for
For
the
the
first box.
first box, okay.
Right.
Well, they don't have wage and benefit studies.
Any pages 2 or what?
This would be town administrator's report.
Town Administrator Kinman gave an update and distributed information regarding the benefit study.
It should be wage and benefits.
Yeah.
Got it?
Town Associates.
Cross out that comment also.
Yep, they don't need a copy.
On this one?
Yeah. All set, page 2? Page 3?
Page 3, I think.
Yeah. Building inspector. Wait a minute. Let's go back. Selectmen was made a motion. Must be on page 2.
Yeah, it should still be done.
To edit.
Yep, that should.
You need to
that
put add back in, right?
That add should be in there.
To add. Yeah, add goes back in
Yeah.
Yep.
and delete. And, oh, wait a minute. Well, I don't know if we need that, but I think Swins did mention and delete Selectmen that Jarvis is from the Centurion line.
Both,
Do we need that in there?
yeah.
Yeah, he said it for the motion.
Okay, well, that's fine. I'm
It's
just
me
asking.
too, but it's in there.
Okay, then, on page 3. Okay, we got it there. All right, that's fine then. And then, building appointment. Building inspector appointment. Here is the appointment of Peter Barney. This is
Yeah, I'm good on page 3.
assistant inspector. It's 2017, so we have that now, 2017. Is that right?
Yep, 1 year.
Okay. And then down here, it's March 31st. We have that. Good, okay. And then we have, there was no discussion of the health officer appointment. Okay.
We're all set on page 3?
No, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Oh.
I added something there, and I don't see it.
Oh,
I added after Selectman Anthony's made a motion to appoint Peter Varney as health officer with a stipend as budgeted for the term ending March 31st, 2017. Chair Griffin seconded the motion passed. Then I put in, there was a discussion about whether the health officer appointment was recommended to the state or not. I'm sorry, I think Scott, or Dave said that. Scott Kim and Town will check on into this. I don't see that anywhere.
But you are correct, it was mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I have that in mine here, but it's not in this one.
Yeah.
Scott, you see that?
did yours, when did you give it to him? Was this last time, or is
That's the
this?
one you sent me?
Oh, you're doing track changes now too?
Yeah.
See, it doesn't work, does it?
Well, I'll tell you the truth, I tried to do it green, and it came out
Came out red.
red.
You can change it. You have to go into your setting, into your,
We spent 20 minutes on it.
it's easy to do. It takes about
Once you figure it out.
5
Yeah.
seconds.
Well, evidently, we didn't do it right.
Yeah, it's, you just go into your options.
Now, it actually turned, well, I think Scott got it green.
Or-
We had it green, but when we printed it in red.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take my jacket off if that's all
Should,
right.
Talk to the audience,
Okay, I'm taking my
Yeah.
jacket off.
like, just like the legislature.
Oh, you have to ask permission?
Yeah, there's always a lady gets up and asks if the gentleman may remove their jackets, and then there's a vote taken.
Honestly?
Yeah, well, yeah, anything to extend the day a little longer.
We get paid by the hour there? or-
I don't know what they did before they had ladies to ask.
Yeah.
Good thing Marilla Ricker came along and changed that for us.
Oh, did, who did that?
Marilla Ricker, the woman I spoke to.
Oh,
earlier.
she was the one that,
Well, she was the big pusher of women's suffrage. She met with Katie Stanton and had the big meetings there.
Thank you, Greg.
okay, all right.
Page 4?
Is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Actually,
It's in the.
There is, I did find out that there is no
Well-
appointment.
that's right, it's not, it's a recommendation, it's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. And you must have done something at some point, because he's listed with the Health and Human Services down there as a health officer, because he gets, when I get this,
Yeah, I
you know,
think,
stuff
I think we
about
put
the
them
water
on,
testing and,
put them all those things, yeah. When we had him take over as interim. All right, where are we?
Okay, wait a minute, I'm at,
Just on page 3, Greg?
I'm on page, let's see, I'm on my page 4, which is different than,
No, it's page 4.
I'm at public input.
public input.
Needs, goal needs.
Go what?
No, needs.
Oh, these. Oh, I get you.
Based on subject verb.
Yeah.
agreement.
Okay, so we crossed out, let's see, this is the new one. So you crossed out public input on page 4, is that correct?
Yeah, it wasn't the public input portion, it was just inputs.
It was just
from-
input that
During
came
that
in.
discussion point, just like any other discussion. It wasn't the formal public input section.
So this is where people are just talking.
There's still something wrong with that, I don't know last time the properties were taken.
So where's the public input now?
There's, on the third paragraph up from the bottom, I'm not sure if it's that what you have, Greg, but
On what page?
I have page 4. It starts with dot Vizel.
Oh, wait a
It's
minute.
just before approval of minutes. The paragraph
Right.
before approval.
So-
Dot Vizel, resident asked how many properties
Right,
were taken.
that's public
for back
input then?
taxes. Pardon?
So we don't have public input anywhere?
This was not part of the public input.
No, we had a
At the beginning,
So, okay,
But
so
you
my
only have
public
public
input
input.
is not any good there. And not, okay, so Dot says,
so dot Vizel, resident, how many properties were taken? Cross out R, you already have looking at crossed out, were taken for back taxes.
so you're taking out, it's unclear?
No. Yeah, that's already taken out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
This is the
I'm not
sentence
changing
about-
that at all. I'm just crossing out R, crossing out it's already, and substituting were taken.
Okay, so now we're on 5. Okay. And then we have, Chairman made a motion. Where's Chairman made a motion for
Yeah, so
PR?
purple and red are not necessarily to the same individual.
16 acres. Is that-
Yeah, because you see evaluations, it's got a red S.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good on 4.
None of that, but I did both of those changes.
Right.
So it's incomplete is now, okay. So when you do this change in, there's, at the bottom page 5, the last word in the last sentence, it's incomplete.
Yep,
We do know that's, one's in red, one's in purple.
right,
But we've got that correct, right?
yeah,
Okay, I have it correct, I had that yellowed in mine that needed to be corrected.
yeah.
So, okay, that's fine then. Okay, then I don't,
Good
No,
on,
there's another, on page 5 at the bottom.
oh, yep,
Peter, it should be M as M as in Mary instead of N as in nothing.
oh, his middle is in.
Yep.
wait a minute, why do I have, Oh, this is,
I thought I sent that in, respelled. I put an N in there?
this is another draft. Wait a minute. I have another draft where I've written something in.
I did that everywhere. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, so page 3 of 5. This is
New
under
approach.
Selectmen entertain a motion to appoint Peter Ryan.
That's all I have.
3 of 5.
Still looking, Greg?
Wait a minute, now I added something here. Oh, okay, we've added that. Okay, good, all right, I'm fine now.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of May 2nd, 2016 as amended.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
that's unanimous.
May 3rd.
Okay, we got one done.
Yep, we got one.
Racing on the wall.
We'll have new ones for this one too, right?
Yep.
Second, so this is May
All
3rd.
right, there we are. Pass those around if you would.
Oh, but you're one. Okay, so
Yeah, there should be that. That should be crossed out. There's an additional.
oh, wait, a minute, you're taking my name off and putting Swins' name on that?
It depends on how it's read. What, you should cross out even though in the market areas, cross that out. I was the one that noted that there were communities added that were not supposed to be there. You noted the tax base is great, very greatly. Cross out, put a period after selectmen on the third line and cross out even though in the market area. Oh, well, actually, or that could start the new sentence, even though in the market area, I think that's the way it should be. Put a period after selectmen, put a capital E, and then even though in those market areas, Selectman Anthony's noted the tax bases vary greatly in some of the communities in the survey.
You got that, Scott?
Yep.
Now, wait a minute now, that changes that, doesn't it?
This doesn't make sense. On page 2, it doesn't make sense on the second paragraph.
You're on the second page?
Yeah.
Oh my God, so somebody's really working with this.
So on the paragraph, second paragraph,
Wait, wait,
selectmen,
let me read the first sentence.
I see you didn't spell quartile right.
on the second paragraph, should say, Selectman Swenson stated they will need to look at all the positions and determine what the overall cost will be before decisions are made. Period. Selectman Swenson stated there are towns and cities that were not supposed to have been included in the survey. Period. Town Administrator Kidman indicated there was a miscommunication on that. That should stay there, I think. Either that or you have to take out Town Administrator Kidman indicated. But you did make that there was a, you did make the statement there was a miscommunication, so I would suggest you keep that in.
That was a mistake. I don't know, miscommunication.
No, he said there was a miscommunication. I think that's the word you used.
I said that because
Oh.
when I sent the spreadsheet
Right.
to him,
Oh, okay.
I probably
okay.
didn't explain the tabs
Right.
well enough. And
So town administrator indicated there was a miscommunication on that, keep that. And then cross out the next line is fine. And we'll come back with corrected data. Specifically, no, rights every day between those communities not on the originally approved listing. So, that's the word,
so why not
Yeah.
change it in there?
Why did we cross everything out here?
I'm not there yet, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, we're okay on that paragraph, okay. Because we didn't make any motions, well, you did approve it.
Yeah, you did approve it.
No, we didn't approve it.
I thought it was, it can go either way. If you don't, do we second it? That's the
No,
thing, it doesn't say what it
there was no
was.
second.
If there was no second, you don't really have to even,
Put it
You
in.
withdrew it before was there a second because we had some questions.
whether you want to, mention it because we talked about it is,
Yeah,
It's up to
I mean,
you.
that's fine.
it's an option, you might.
Why is that in blue still? Shouldn't we just cross that out too?
Yeah,
That
if
was
you-
another, that was probably from David on the spelling, I don't know.
So we're
Yeah, I
just,
agree.
Or
we're
from the
taking,
spelling.
I was confused with that when I saw it in there anyway.
But you can leave that in, that's not a problem.
Well, I don't mind taking it out. What do you want to do on that?
I mean, it wasn't,
We did
it was
discuss it, but
discussed briefly, and it was a motion, but no second, and,
Briefly,
yeah,
more briefly.
comparatively to the other.
Yep, I don't care. It
Do you
can
know
go either
who
way.
made, do you know who made the motion to adjourn?
On which one?
And this-
On Molenbrook?
No,
No,
on
on
the
the-
May 3rd one.
May 3rd one.
I think I made the motion to adjourn, and Greg seconded, but I'm not sure about that. But I think that's what it was.
'Cause
I didn't go back and check.
So was Greg, he's always ready to go.
I'm always ready to second, so I'll take the second, you do the.
I think I made the motion to adjourn, and I think Greg seconded.
Okay.
So we're gonna leave that crossed off? That whole,
No, you can put back in. I mean, it was done, no question.
okay. All right.
Okay, well.
You might change it to the information was thought to be incomplete instead of, because she actually was complete, wasn't she?
No, I think
It's reviewed and it was determined the information provided was
they
incomplete.
changed the,
Unless
they
something else
corrected
on
the
there.
application. I think. But,
Well, we were,
Well, I don't have a problem with thought to be either.
Do you like these shirts? I bought new shirts. These are Paul Frederick shirts.
who's he?
Well, I got rid of Brooks Brothers because they wrinkled.
Oh, yeah, I like him.
And this one doesn't wrinkle as
Thought
much.
to
One's
be
good.
incomplete.
You just throw it, and take it out of the dryer.
All right, you ready to, are we all set, Scott? Yep. Get everything you need? All right, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of May 3rd, 2016, as amended. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye, aye. That's unanimous.
Thank God there's two.
Now, we got the 18th, do we? Coming on?
Look how thick the 18th
Pretty
is.
sure
Yeah.
these are the,
That's collected.
Wait a minute, you have changes on the 18th?
I don't think that there was. I think that one's just a reprint, but
Well,
I didn't have time to go through,
We had, let me check the 18th here.
so I don't know, there was a lot of different colors on this one. I think you had some on this one, Greg.
yeah, this was
Yeah.
my green one, isn't it?
Yeah, this has got a lot of green on it.
Okay.
New one I just handed out. Greg's
Yeah.
just, I mean, I say a lot, there's just a couple of
No, I didn't do a
Yeah.
lot, I just did.
Because Greg had asked it, because he hadn't had a chance to review it last time, I think, right, Greg? And
Right.
so he wanted to look it over.
Did I send anything back to you, you remember? It looks like I did, according to my notes here.
Yeah, I believe yours were all incorporated in.
I don't think I seconded that.
Where are
I'm
you?
on page 4, I think that's where the first one was, right? I'll have to go back and look at my notes here.
You're on page what?
4, that's where the first grade change is, right? I don't think that's
Four where though? Which one?
page 4, first green one.
George Gales.
Oh, down here.
Wait a minute, you didn't add my, this is on page 3, Department Reports Issue, Joe Blosky.
Go back.
I added this. After April 17th, 2016, the
Yeah.
second line there, I added, Joe complimented the new Durham Fire Department's quick response to put out the fire in the container.
Huh, wonder why they didn't pick that up, because I got the other green ones in there.
They didn't go there, and I'd like that to be, he said it, and I think that's a nice thing. Do you want me, here, you want this one?
Pulaski.
Here, give him that so he can look at it, it's in yellow.
Anything else on the street, Greg?
Well, he has mine now.
Oh,
Well, I'll just ask him, is there anything, well, let him finish that off. Is there anything, any other yellows on that page?
Right here.
Yeah.
Did you pick that one up?
Yeah, no,
I'm not gonna eat these two anymore.
I'll tell you. It is quite, I'll tell you right now, it is quite a process. I mean, it works, but as long as you can get it to work, it's all right. There you go, Greg. I got that second one.
Okay,
You added on there about the highway department.
yeah, the facilitate the transition rather than facility. You got that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one?
This is the yellow in the town administrator's report. In yellow,
Facilitate. Yeah,
okay.
not facility.
I don't know, where are you?
That one must have-
That one's already changed.
Yeah, that one, I think.
Oh,
that-
somebody else changed it
somebody else said
probably,
it.
yeah.
I wonder if sometimes that thing, reads it and makes it.
Now I forget, which one are we working off? The real colored one? This one? Is that the one we're working off of? No, this is the one we're working off of.
It's got a draft.
Okay.
Oh, you got draft on that too.
Okay, page 4. Now, now this is the one, I went back and actually looked at the video. And this is exactly how it is.
oh. We're on both sides.
4, page
Make more
4.
than one copy?
No.
You're on page 4, but where though, on page 4?
Well, all my yellows are there, and I don't know if he's made those in page 4 that he passed out.
Let me look.
I don't see, you were in green or you were?
Well, it's supposed to be green.
Big food.
It's green here.
That's it. I don't have this on this one.
Yeah. That's exactly from the tape.
I think you need to probably combine all that stuff so we can have a fresh read on it.
Do you want to take mine and then later give it back?
I mean, I've got it upstairs. So. You want to make?
You missed a copy here.
What?
In the packet, you missed a,
Page?
yeah.
Why don't I just take it, you want me to take a minute? Just
No,
put it on top of
I'd rather see it all so I can
Oh, okay,
review it.
yeah.
Wait a minute.
We'll just have to pass on this one, do it again.
Well, no, but I want you to have this, so,
I got it upstairs.
You sure?
You sent it to me. Yeah.
Well, do me a favor.
You want me to keep that one?
Yes, but I want it back. Got no catch there. Because that's the only one I have now.
Yeah.
Promising,
That one's tabled.
put Greg's copy on that. Return to Greg.
All right.
So we'll have to hold off on the 18th. Jesus Christ.
That was one of those long meetings, fellas.
Well, I had
Don't
it.
have- That's why we got so many words in those. They're shorten up the verbiage.
Yeah. Well, I like how we're doing it now.
Wait till you get to the next one.
Yeah.
All right, so we're postponing the
Where do we
18th.
stand?
18th. Yeah.
We got to hold on 18th again.
Well, do we want to
06.
look at any of the rest of it?
December's,
Well, yeah, January 12th. January 12th's already done.
Yeah,
That was done
yeah, that's
February
off, that's
16th.
off the plate.
we're at December 7th now.
December 7th.
Now, this is the one that's, there's no
Yeah,
video,
wait for me to catch up with it, 'cause I gotta make
and this is a mess.
I got to wait.
Yeah, I added a bunch of stuff in here today.
6, 16.
I typed in,
And this goes
I
with
believe,
it.
it should show all of
With it.
it. Yeah.
Well, actually, the non-public 7th is that.
And I corrected that kid's name.
All right, so hold on. So shut this stuff out.
Oh, this is the famous one that you never add the attachment.
Well, you know what, I typed it all in there earlier. Because I got this thing right here. About the freight on that.
Wait a minute. What?
Should be in here, I gotta find it.
Where's page 2?
Ah, that's why. Didn't print it.
Okay, so we can't do this
You
one.
know why? I got it right upstairs. You wait just a minute, it's right in my recycle bin.
What's it
Because I
do?
printed a new one page and I printed them on both sides because I corrected one of the firefighters' names that was on here.
Yep.
Let me just run upstairs and grab it.
Yeah, you have page 2 there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can go to 3 then, I guess.
I've never seen that name before, Chauffeur. In the first page of the present. Kind of makes me wonder if it's right or not. Huh. Well, anyway,
Uh-oh, what's he nibbling on now? What are you nibbling?
it's not making noises.
I got the candy here. I can't have chocolate. And did you say we have something going on this week?
We're gonna try to do something tomorrow, but Swens is tied up. Here's page 2. Let's cross off page 1. The only thing I corrected was this kid's name.
Yeah. Oh, so this is front and back on page 1?
Yeah.
Do you have a stapler?
I do.
Here's the stapler. Okay, I did have some changes on this. Okay. Okay, so you do have that, thank you.
I know, I see where it actually go, I typed it.
Uh-oh. shoot, I should have brought that. Wait a minute, let me see.
This, you guys know, I did dig through the book, Carter's book from that night. I didn't find anything to help fill in some of these other voids. And there's no audio recording.
On this one?
No, they've been used over. Used.
There's no video either? There's a video.
Apparently there is a video.
There is a video.
There is. For this one?
Because I listened to it this afternoon.
Oh, okay. All right.
There is a video.
I was told it wasn't. I never did look at it.
And
Okay.
I will tell you that I would not be able to approve the minutes with what you said here, Greg, because it's not a complete description of what occurred.
It's my statement.
Not a complete description of what occurred.
It's my statement. And it is what happened.
Well,
I will tell you what I said.
I
I
know.
will not approve it because.
Well, I understand why you're not approving
if
it.
it's something more that needs to be in there,
No, I made
Talk about
that
that.
statement because it was clearly defined. And I made it, I read it, and I want it in the minutes.
it should stand out separately from what we were talking about. We left the meeting house. So, it's something, how did it happen to come up during the meeting house thing? Discussion.
Well, I don't know why it's there.
Oh, I see, it's public input, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's public input.
All right.
I was the last on public input.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I read the statement and it's.
So you came back and, okay, because this is something that was brought up previous,
Right,
okay.
at a previous meeting, and
okay.
it's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
on tape and it's in the minutes, so I want mine in the minutes and on tape. You know. Well, actually, this one isn't on tape because we don't have a tape of it. That's why it's so important to have this in the
Well, it says
minutes.
there's a video.
I didn't see a video. But December 7th,
I
the sound's
went
gone.
back to the reference and it's not what.
Oh, you're going back to the meeting before.
Right, which is a reference, and it's not a description of what happened.
It's
It's not an
exactly,
accurate description of what happened.
it is exactly what I went back and looked at it. That's why I did that report.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah, well,
Repairs, highway.
I would suggest the audience that wants to hear it, go back and look.
Okay, out of the blue.
well, I did look at it. I'm very careful about that.
Brought up the fire chief. Is that the part you're saying? He brought up the fire chief, which had nothing to do? Okay, that's what he's saying here, raise, okay, so you feel that she didn't bring up the fire chief, or you think the contact is incorrect?
No, she did bring up the fire chief. I then I said, what does the fire chief have to do with this? And then Ms. Swenson stated twice that I needed anger management, which is totally inappropriate.
Okay, so
And then I said, you know, in this statement, I clarified, you know, that, you know, raising my voice like others doesn't mean it's in anger. Sometimes it's in frustration, but most of the time it's in disappointment. And then I read the next statement. This is a statement that I read into the minutes.
Okay.
And they need to be in the minutes.
okay. Well,
And this
No,
is,
we don't have any tape of that, right? I don't know, I'd have to go back and look at my notes, but.
there.
No, I said I have to go back and look at my notes.
Well, you keep saying that, Swins. This is the third time you have delayed this because it has to do with your wife. And I'm sorry it does, but, you know, there's
We're
an
gonna get the facts,
occasion.
Greg, let's get the facts. I did not delay it last time, last two times in fact. You delayed it because you insisted on having a statement to put in there.
Right,
It wasn't me.
right.
Let's get your facts correct.
Well, I wanted the statement in there and you didn't approve it,
well,
No, it's not
which
what-
means you delayed it.
it may have delayed, but it wasn't because, well, I don't know what it is, so,
Yeah.
but anyway. What else we got?
Oh, by the way, it's the last sentence in that statement, correcting problems, comma, that can. Rather than CAS, it's can, CAN.
Oh, yeah. Can save, right?
You don't need to call me.
Can save taxpayers money.
Okay.
Can, yeah.
Big
issues needing replacement. Chief Barney stated, okay, that's good. Neil Burns suggested routine maintenance. Take out the "it was" then, I guess, right? And $4,800 looks right. 5 times per year. Yeah, okay. Perhaps fix the sign also. Yeah.
Why did I say Neil Burns?
Hmm?
Neil Burns, it was suggested?
No, cross out the "it was."
Oh,
I thought you said, yeah, I got that.
Yeah, cross out it
Neil
was.
Burns, okay, so Neil Burns
Suggested.
suggested. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know why that was crossed out.
Here's 7. Wait a minute. Okay, then we crossed out that. Okay,
All right.
so moving that in now. Wait a minute, I'm still looking at this.
All right, I'll move on later.
Okay,
Just call me back when you,
no.
when you need.
I don't have any changes in the rest of this, I think. No, that's it. Unless they change something. Wait a minute. Okay, that's fine. Okay. I don't have the problem with the rest of it. Well, I'm gonna make, are you ready?
No,
Okay.
you done already?
Yeah.
Gee,
Well, if,
I think we've been through all the rest of it.
yeah.
well, what are we doing with the, page 6, the, third paragraph? No need to verify this vote. I don't think I have any answers for it.
Well, I usually make this, what is it? Okay, well, one of us made it and seconded it. Do you recall who did that?
I'm telling you, I'm gonna go back and take care of it. This is not ready for approval.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I don't have an answer for that.
Well, you can't hear this one. This is the one where there's,
Oh.
let's see, this is the one that there's no video. And, the sound is horrid on it. And now I understand we don't have a tape on this. Is that correct, Scott?
Yeah, there's no audio tape.
So it's now memory on this one.
Well, first and second don't really mean a whole lot, but what is important is that we did make motions, it was Anthony's and Beckman. Ms. Swanson did oppose, stated there was no justification for the proposed rates, and no, I don't, did you say that? I don't recall, you
Absolutely
did
said
not.
that.
Huh?
Absolutely said that.
All right, then we'll keep it then. Because I don't recall. So we can, get something in there. Can you do that, Scott?
What's that?
I have, my notes show, Greg, you made the motion, and David, you did the second.
Oh, there you go.
That is right, I recall now, you're absolutely right.
Okay, so I made the motion.
It did pass.
You got that,
2-1.
Scott?
We came back to it.
This is page 6
Yeah.
in red.
Yeah,
And see where it says note?
yeah.
Well, it says, I believe the motion was approved, it's done here. Either Anthony's made the motion. Dave said he made the motion,
Okay, so.
and I
No,
seconded
you
it.
made- no.
You made the
No,
motion.
no.
I'm sorry, I made the motion, Dave seconded it.
You made the motion according to promote and pay according to the PAF, I mean, sorry. And Bickford seconded,
Yeah.
and it passed 2-1, and I noted that it was inappropriate to the reasons that I gave there.
Yep,
Okay, so,
that's fine with
Do you
me.
know if the vote up above was accurate?
What vote is that?
2-1.
This one up above here, it says here,
Page what?
6, says here, there's a note here, need to verify this vote.
That's what we're talking about, I think.
So,
Yep, that's the one we're talking about.
so the note really should be above this.
Well,
No.
the note,
Comes out.
the note was saying that these minutes aren't, A, accurately reflecting the motion, and B, that is the fire department rates. There should be another section here that says, Selectman Anthony's made the motion to approve the fire department rates and promotions according to the PAF, seconded by Selectman Bickford. Motion passed 2-1. And then state that Selectman Swenson was opposed, stating there was no justification for the proposed rates and no analysis on the budget effect.
You see the one I'm talking about?
That's my note here that applies to that. This motion goes to that. Sorry, you're looking for taking it off the table. That I think was 3-0, yeah.
Okay.
that was 3-0. That one before, Chair Bifford made a motion to take the fire department motion off the table.
I'm not sure of that. I don't, my notes were only relative to the rate stuff itself.
And then the next meeting is when we pass that. We took it off this one.
It was this meeting.
We came back and approved the,
Came out of non-public.
Correct.
well, this doesn't say it then.
Yeah, just so you know, there is no video of the 7th meeting.
Well, we gotta piece it together as best we can, that's all. Best we can recall.
Wait a minute, are you saying that this meeting, we took it off the
Page
table?
5, we entered public again.
Well, you had it on the table, you made, sure you made a
Right.
motion and
And then we came back,
maybe a second, then we tabled it to go into non-public and discuss.
right,
And then page 5, we came out of non-public at 11:20. And did the motions in public. I'm not sure about the 3-0 vote. My notes don't show that.
I'm not sure either. What's important is that it
But
did,
what's missing is the other.
vote.
Well, what we said was for the actions itself. The note has to be completed according to what we just described.
Well, I think we figured out that no. That's,
Yeah, I
Well,
can-
that's my note saying there's a whole section missing here. This is what I believe happened.
yeah, we got through that, right?
and Scott, you got what the motion
We
was?
don't have the verification on off the table yet.
Well, we're not.
It was, what you might indicate, rather than motion passed 3-0, saying that it was clearly the majority, I would just say the motion passed by majority vote.
That's
Let
not,
it go at that, because we don't have an accurate count.
that works.
Maybe might just to make. Okay. And then add
Well,
what
wait a minute.
I've indicated.
The next motion.
Yeah, take out the note part and just say the motion by Selectman Anthony, blah, 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 second by Selectman Bickford, blah, 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 2-1. Selectman Swenson indicated opposition because.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Good shape there, Scott? Yep. All right, anything else?
Okay, now wait a minute.
Huh?
So where we said that Chair Bifford made a motion to take the fire department motion off the table at this time, I second it. And it did pass 3-0.
I don't know that.
I
I
think,
know it passed by majority. I don't remember that it's 3-0. My
It
notes
was
don't show
3-0
that.
majority, so it works for me.
Yeah.
okay,
Because we don't have an accurate description, I would just suggest, I mean, I think the consensus is we agree that it passed.
okay,
We don't have an accurate vote count, so
so,
for me, there's no question that it passed.
right,
I just don't recall if it's 3-0. I'd have to try to go back and.
yeah, okay.
put it in the
All
notes.
right, then when did we bring this back up?
Right there.
Right now.
Right there.
Once it came off the table, that means now you start acting on it, or,
And
hey,
then the next one is where we acted on
yeah,
it.
so what the minutes will
Okay,
show is
that
that
makes sense.
you take out the note part and just say,
Right.
motion by, blah, blah, second by,
See-
blah,
See, that's how I remembered it. Then this, when I looked at this, I said, where is the, okay. And we've corrected that. So these are ready to go.
All right, I make a motion to approve the Board of Selectmen minutes of December 7th, 2015.
I'll second
All in
that.
favor?
You want a second?
Greg seconded, yep. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm opposed because, as I said before, it does not accurately portray what occurred. And I'd like the minutes to show that.
What, will you be specific?
In your statement and in the surrounding parts of that.
Okay, all right. The statement is what I made. You're just saying
Yeah.
inside the
I heard your
statement.
argument before, Greg.
No, but you've brought this up before. You've said people could make a statement, and even if it's not true, it's put into the minutes.
No, I didn't say put into the minutes. I said you can include that they made the statement. That's correct.
Yeah, and then we've put it in
We've
the
already,
minutes.
I mean, I have, if you want to make the position that we should put those statements in the minutes, I have no problem doing that, but let's be consistent on it.
All right, what's next?
Okay.
Okay?
The 4th, November 4th.
Number 4th.
I had to dig for those.
No, that's already been done.
Yeah, I thought,
Those have been done.
All right, so we're all set on those, right?
Yeah.
So ignore that.
So we're in non-public now.
well, we're not in non-public yet.
Well,
but
we're
we are
headed
ready
for
to
non-public.
potentially go now.
Yeah. So we gotta leave, go upstairs.
So, make a motion to enter into non-public under RSA 91A:3, Roman 2, A and C.
Well-
Yeah, looking for a second if anybody wants to.
I'll second.
Just quickly, the listing only is under A, why do we need C?
Wait, Scott brought up a personnel matter.
That's A.
That's
which,
A.
According to what this listing is.
Yep, another person, reputation.
And, oh, you don't like
C,
the,
yeah, C.
I'm just asking, I mean, I'm not saying it's not correct, I'm
Yeah.
just saying that the
Why?
listing only includes A, why do you need C?
Yeah,
I'm not saying you don't need C, I'm just
It's
saying,
just on
help me out here.
You can probably get away with just doing A, because there's a personnel matter, and the other stuff is minutes, so.
do you need anything for
Well,
minutes?
minutes are the reputation part, aren't they?
Oh,
Could be.
probably could be,
So throw C in.
yeah.
Well, he already did in the motion, I'm just
Right,
saying
you've done
that
the second,
under
that's
A,
I've seconded it.
yeah.
No reason.
I'm
Okay,
just
so
making
you,
sure there's clarification of why we need C.
yeah, and you're okay with that?
I'm okay with it, I just wanna, as I said, this only shows A.
Yep.
For me to go into C, you gotta have a reason to go into C, so
Right.
what we're saying is that there's a reason to go
I
into C
just-
because
Yeah, I know. I
there
was
may be
checking
some
because-
conversations during the minutes review,
We can
and
set-
there may be also some, I would think it appropriate anyway with a personnel matter that may affect potentially
If you're
reputation.
okay with it, I just
So I just
think,
wanna make sure we have an explanation.
right, if you're good with it, then we'll,
Vote.
instead of dividing